You got troubles, put them in the past, cause you're free at last, time to have a blast. You don't know it, was so glad that you asked. It's the PodCast.
Yo, what is good? We are live. Welcome to episode 3 of the FozCast podcast. Said it right that time. I've been practicing it. Finally got it right. Only took me 3 weeks. We have the one, the only, or one half of SmallerOnTheOutside with us this weekend. How are you doing, Smaller? How have you been? I know we've been speaking throughout the week, but it's always good to ask every day.
I'm doing well. I'm at that age where I think I just have to resign myself to being perpetually kind of tired all the time. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
I've been feeling that since I started my working life at like 16. Just always tired all the time.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Hello, Jazzy. Jazzy's already... She's been there on the laptop with the tab open waiting for us both. Like,
I'm trying to figure out how to pop out this chat right now because I want to have the chat up while we're talking too.
Yeah, it's always good. Then you can see it as well. I have it up on the stream as well if you want to have like the stream open. Well, actually, you wouldn't really... It would be better if you had it muted. Then you won't be hearing us twice.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I'll do it. I'll just pop back and forth.
We've got Fwanshish. We've got the mighty FMJ 225 up in here already.
Hey, FMJ, nice.
Jazzy, I know you're okay. I see you every day. Wake up next to you about an hour ago. FMJ, I hope you're well, man. Smaller, thank you for being here. I've actually been waiting. I could not wait to get you on. I can't wait to get Silenced on as well. You guys are going to be the best guests, I reckon. Because I know you two guys, I'm comfortable with you, so there's nothing really we can't talk about. There's no like boundaries we can't really push.
Oh, you know I got no boundaries with you, Fozzie.
So the first topic we've actually got is yours and Kara's content. As you heard me say, Nate is one half of SmallerOnTheOutside with his partner Kara. He plays like Dead by Daylight, Call of Duty. He does music streams. He does his Sunday Serenade, which I think he's actually kind of missed today to be here, so I appreciate you. Or you'll be doing it after, whichever.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I just got the guitars back, so I need to get my chops back again.
Yeah, I actually need to turn the desktop audio up because I've had it down because I've had music on there. And Kara's been like working on your YouTube channel, playing The Sims, doing like custom builds, things like that. She's actually started doing her own streams as well. Let's not forget that. Her own Sims streams. Redo the start scene. You want the jingle one more time? Hold on then. We'll play the jingle just for Francis. Actually forgot to mention Smaller. Nate actually did the jingle for the podcast as well. So
was happy to. An honor.
Talking of your music, I'll play it once more for Francis. Here it is for you guys again.
You got troubles, put them in the past, cause you're free at last, time to have a blast. You don't know it, was so glad that you asked. It's the PodCast.
There you go, FMJ. That silky smooth voice from Nate there. So
I do what I can.
We were just talking about your content. I think that leads nicely into our first topic. For anyone who's not aware, you're part of the Okos fam. You started up our streamer like gaming team collective, the OP Squad, which I think would be fair to say we kind of. It started as just something we said. We were like, oh, the OP Squad, and then you actually like took it from the roots. And then started it up like it's a thing now. We all like we were saying the other night. We play games offline, not just on stream. Right. We've made like actually a lot of friends that we consider real friends. You know, not just people who play games online with.
We're like a fam.
Exactly. You know, we've had like 5 or 6 of us just playing games offline, like me, you, Mocha, Jazzy, and Nava, Silence. You know, I think it's great. So.
Oh, me too. I love it. I'm really proud of it. Like, when it was funny, I remember us playing Dead by Daylight, and we were just wrecking, dude. We were having so much fun, and just like, dude, we're just too OP for this game. We're just too OP. We like, they can't get us. Like, we're just the OP squad out here. Like, and then we just ran with it. And then between me and you, Silence and Jazzy, like, it just became this very real concept in my mind. And a lot of the conversations were also like offline between me and Jazzy, and just like, talking about how it could be something, I really saw it as that it could be something much bigger, and it could be something much more than just, I mean, don't get me wrong, like us playing games together and being friends and just having a grand old time together. I mean, that's what it's all about first and foremost. But I saw a very real like opportunity for us to do big things together because we all love and trust each other. So it's just like, let's do this, and then thankfully Jazzy was down to work on a logo for us. And, everybody just really seemed to click with the idea of us making it into something bigger. And here we are, grinding on multiple fronts. And I love it. It's really cool.
And the great thing about it is we started with like 4 or 5 of us, and now we've moved into adding people to it. So we picked up Andy like the other day to join us, Andy on the Rocks. Shout out to Andy on the Rocks for anyone that doesn't know Andy. We picked up Mirko. Sadly, we did pick up a few bad apples.
It happens,
but with anything, it happens. Like you said, you can. You mentioned the devil, and she shows up. There she is in my chat. Welcome, Andy. How you doing, Andy?
But yeah, I mean, I think it's in the year or so that I've been doing this, it's all a learning experience. You know what I mean? You're gonna take steps in not so great directions every so often. You're gonna make choices. But I think, whether it's with streaming or whether it's with life, you make certain choices, and even if they end up going bad, there's something to learn from it. And I think, even with, the little baby bird that is OP Squad right now, like I've learned some very valuable lessons about how to go about things. And, we did bring in some folks early on that just, it wasn't a great fit, and I had to make some tough decisions when it came to it. But, on the other side of that coin, we do get people like MF and Joker or Andy on the Rocks to join us because of their passion for the games, like Dead by Daylight, which is, how it all started, and what our main focus still is, people who have a passion for that game and are just genuinely amazing people and wonderful friends, people that I'm more than privileged to call friends. And, I think that's what again, like I said before, I think that's first and foremost what it's about. It's about people who really are friends, having just a metric fuck ton of time playing games together and making content together.
And we were saying the other day as well, like, me and you had this conversation while we were playing with Jazzy and Mirko, like, off stream. We've met some people that on Twitch, whether it be the OP squad or the other stream team you're part of, Urkos fam, that we consider real friends, that we talk to a lot more than people we've met in real life. And
absolutely.
With that as well, I mean, we're talking about what your goals for the future and stuff are anyways, so we can go into this. I mean, like you and Cara are both going to PAX East, and you're actually going to meet these people for the first time. And the fact that you've connected with those people, whether it be through streaming or gaming or whatever else, you've actually made friends. And, like the older generation think, oh, well, streaming and gaming's a waste of time and whatnot. But you actually connect with people and you make real friendships and people that you're actually going to meet now down the line. So,
there's it's crazy to me that, like, so I think we've come to a place with, like, in our lives, our adult lives and in society where, I don't know, as you grow and mature, you obviously, your life changes along with that, and, for me, with the way my schedule is and just the way my life is and how I live it and just who I am as a person, it's become increasingly more difficult to be a part of like certain social scenes, in particular, like, throughout my 20s, when I was younger, that, my friends, a lot of my friends, both in grade school and in college, they all got married and started having kids. My partner Car and I have been together for coming up on 3 years now, but we're not married. We don't have kids. Like that's not been, those haven't been my decisions, but, and I don't fault anybody for making those decisions, but those decisions made it harder for us to stay connected, and spend time with one another. And so I became focused on my own personal life, my own personal goals, and also other decisions about being part of certain social scenes beyond like those friends that I had when I was younger. But like now, like, I don't go out to bars and go rage anymore. You know what I mean? That's not really I don't really have time for that. I have goals and things that just don't. And the money too, like shit, I got bills to pay, I got stuff, I got responsibilities, man. I'm an adult. Yeah. Like I can't go to the bar and spend like $50 to $100 buying people drinks or getting fucking wasted anymore and like partying. Don't get me wrong. I love to go to a concert and get my boogie on and like have a grand old time. I cannot be threatened with a good time, but for me, there's something so much more, I don't know, just like comfortable for me to just, I focus on my responsibilities and then I come home and I take care of my home. I'm in my home, I relax. I have, my partner, Cara, I have, our dog, our cat, I have, we have our home that is, I have things that are really like, I don't know, they bring a lot more joy to my life than going out and being out and doing those things and being in those social scenes. So, at a certain point in my life, it was really that was a really difficult thing to come to terms with, right? You think that like something's wrong. Like I can't connect with these people I used to connect with now, or you feel abandoned or so, you know what I mean? And it is a very tough thing for, especially somebody like me who, I've dealt with anxiety and depression my whole life. Those mental health issues are very difficult. And so when you feel abandoned, you feel like you don't have people, it becomes a very difficult thing. And so when I had to make some decisions as to how I was going to like kind of live my life and occupy my time. And, music and video games have been two things that have always really, really helped me with my mental health. And as I started to get to know the like kind of Twitch sphere that we're in, or just the streaming space, the content creation space, I saw a very real opportunity to delve into things that have always helped me and that I'm passionate about, which is creating content, whether it's music or videos, or, I'm also a stage actor, and things like that. Just being in a space where I could, kind of be in front of people and be myself. And as that started to develop, as you said, you start to develop very real friendships because you are spending so much time in that space and with people. We laugh now, when we stop playing games together or something like that, like Mocha and I, or you and I, we'll laugh now because I'll be like, it's not like a see you later, hope to catch you soon kind of thing. It's almost like, all right, well, I'll see you, every day.
See you in a thread like 2 minutes after we end the game or log off, like always talking on Discord or making plans, And
even with the Okos people, for me, it was, I started, it's funny, and Sydney and Danny Okos, who are they run the Okos gaming stream team. We laugh about this too, is that like, they're very good with social media, right? That's how they've, built what they've built, is they're very good at social media. They, they work for companies now where they help them with social media. And that's part of like, what the team does. And so like, most people can say the way they met, like Sydney or Danny, is through like Twitter, through them liking posts or retweeting people or, stuff like that. And that's, Sydney was liking a lot of the posts I was putting out as I started, delving into the space more and more. And so I started checking out her streams and, me having my anxiety, my social anxiety, and chat. I wasn't very chatty at first. I was new to the space and stuff like that. But as I was hanging out and starting to chat more, and then you develop friendships, you have these conversations and things like that, and then just became a thing where it's like, boom. Then I was a mod in the stream. We're friends. I applied for the team early on before I actually got to know him, because I was just like, oh, I like this. Let me apply for it. But it became that realization when I was like, well, that's not, you don't just like assume that you can just be a part of things. You have to, and man, I'm gonna start. This is me getting on my soapbox, man. It's like,
you get on that soapbox, man. I like
this
it.
This is where I have an issue with all the those groups and those teams out there that are all just like, earn points by lurking and following people and doing that stuff, follow for follow and like lurk on people, but they do not encourage you to build very like real organic relationships. It's all just like, let's all just kind of like,
it's all a facade, essentially.
It's all just superficially, just make sure we're all following each other, make sure that we're all, lurking and stuff like that. But,
there's no actual chat going on when you go in their stream. Yeah. It's like you'll see people with Twitch is trying to put a stop to this at the moment but it also hurts small streamers, because now small streamers that are actually growing those organic relationships and friendships and things like that, their view counts and follower counts and things like that are suffering as well, because you've got these fucking scumbag communities that want to ruin it for the rest of us that actually put the work in.
Right. And I don't blame a lot of people for being a part of it, because like I said early on, like it's easy to get caught up in stuff like that when you don't know yet.
You don't know any better or any different.
Right. Yeah. You just think this is how it's done. But I've been very lucky. I think we, and a lot of us talk about this in our, like, I call it this huge, like almost like one circle, but it is a Venn diagram where we all kind of intermingle and we know each other now. But it's like we all kind of, it's very easy early on to get caught up in things like that without knowing. But, we've all been very lucky to have met the right people. We've met each other, which are good people, and we're there as support, but also very realistic kind of guidance as to like, this is how our communities work. We get to know one another. We treat each other as equals and as friends, and the support there is so very real. You talked about PAX East, right? You talk about we're going to PAX East, which is a huge step for our community. It's our first convention for Cara and I. It's a huge step for us in being able to learn about what being content creators, full stop goal is full-time content creation. It's something I've always wanted, but this, I think, see it as a very big step. But we wouldn't have those passes if not for the very real support that we get from our friends, in our community. That's, we raised like, and this isn't just me like, look at what we did, dude. No, it's like we raised close to $800, because we put ourselves out there and let our friends know that like, this is something we want to do. We let people know our goals. And it's because people have a very real desire to see us reach those goals, as I do for, you and anybody on the OP squad, Okos Gaming, anybody just in that circle that I've gotten to know and consider a friend. Ultimately it's not, I look at it as like, I want everybody on that come up. So if I'm doing something big, I want people to come with me. It's community. It's about like, hey, you got goals, I got goals. All right, let's see everybody get to where they want to be, so we can all make sure that we're doing exactly what we want, finding our happiness, doing the thing, and building the kind of community that can stand there against those, like you said, those kind of scummy communities and say, it's not how you do it. Look at what we got. Isn't that what you want?
I mean, it's nice to know as well, like as a content creator, when you see these people helping you raise, I mean, it doesn't even have to be monetary value. It can be things like sharing your stuff on Twitter or Instagram or whatnot. It's nice to see those, like, even if you only have 5 people, 6 people, and you know they have that belief in you or your brand as like content creators like you and Karen, knowing you have them 5-6 steady people. In your case, you had like quite a lot of help. It's nice to know that your community have that faith in you and know you're actually going to put that help towards going to PAX East. I mean, there's some people that could say that and then take the money and run. I mean, you're not like that. You and Kara are definitely not like that. But again, going back to
the more I have, the more I can give back. That's what I look at. The more I have, the more I'm able to give back. The more that we can do and the more that we develop and grow as a community, as individuals, the more I can make sure that the people that are part of that community can grow as well. You know, you talk about, having very real support and things like that. Like, here's a perfect example. I've been playing and writing music since I was a teenager. For about 20 years now, I've been playing and writing music. And I can't tell you I can't count. I literally can't count how many times I went out there, played these dingy fucking bars, played shows, and these people that I've known, you know, again, you talk about like how friends fade away, and we discussed that earlier. You know, I can't tell you, like, you know, the people that I've known my entire life, people that I grew up with, people that we considered each other family. Did they show up? Were they there?
No.
Hell no. Their lives, you know, and again, I don't necessarily fault them for that, but their lives were important to them. They had kids, they were doing their thing. They don't have that kind of time to go out to some dingy bar that I'm playing some gig and show up at, you know, and be there until midnight, you know, stuff like that. You know, but again, it's like that shit hurts, man. Playing to empty rooms. And you know, and trying to scratch and survive out there, you know, as a musician, and you know, something you've been doing for such a long time, and you wonder, like, you start to question yourself and things like that. But then I come to a space like Twitch, right, which is one of the reasons that I really started getting into it. I come to a space like Twitch and I start playing music, and the support has been unfucking real. Like, it blows my mind. I'm getting chills just talking about it. Like, it blows my mind every single time, because I can sit there and I'll play to people who genuinely like are there, like just there for me and show up and encourage me. And, you know what I mean? It's support that I've always wanted, you know? And again, it's not just like people like, you know, getting on my junk about it or anything like that. It's more just like people being genuinely supportive of my goals and making me feel a little less alone, but also making me feel like what I'm doing is worth something, like that I should. It keeps me motivated. You know what I mean? It makes me want to continue to progress and do better. You know, it inspires me to know that I have people out there that I love and trust that are here supporting me from all over the world. Right? You know, you guys in the UK got friends in like Belgium, friends, Australia, Canada, just like, right, just everywhere. And it's just like, yeah, but the people that live 20 minutes down the fucking road from me and I play a gig right around them, are they there? No. No. So like, you know what? I gave up going out and playing dingy bars and stuff like that about, you know, right around the time that I started streaming on Twitch, because I was just burnt. I was burnt out. I actually stopped playing music for a while. And then I was like, all right, let me give this Twitch thing a shot. Right? Let me see about playing music on here. How
long did it, sorry to interrupt you, how long did it take you, like, I'm assuming like most people when they start on Twitch, they start playing video games or whatnot. How long did it take you to give that a go? Like, think, oh, you know what, I'm actually just going to boot the stream up and I'm going to play some songs, my own original music. Like, how long did that take you? A couple of months.
Yeah, because like when I first started, I was like, you know, let me just see what this is about. I'll just throw up me playing Destiny, you know, on the Xbox and see what's going on here. And just because it was mainly like the people that I was playing Destiny with and I was in a clan with were kind of like I met other streamers, you know, through that, like just playing games with them. And then, so I was like, oh dude, I really like this guy. I love playing games. Well, let me check him out. Let me support, because, you know, now I consider them like a friend. I play games with them every day or whatever. I was like, you know, this is pretty fucking cool. Like, let me give this a try. And it dawned on me, like, and again, this was right around the time I was burnt out and really questioning whether or not I wanted to even keep playing music, which now seems absolutely insane to me. But it's just like, you know, I was just having a lot of self-doubt. And you know, as I was like, you know, this platform can be a lot more than me just playing Destiny. It can be so much more than this. I was like, so, you know, let me give this a shot. And so from my phone, like just my phone, just set it up, grab my guitar, and I'm gonna tell you, minute one I fucking did this. Minute one, when people showed up, I was like, this is it right here. This is my shit. Like, this is how I get it done. This is how I make something out of what I've been trying to do for 20 years. This is how, right here. This is where it's at. And you know, in a few months, from like August of 2018 was our first stream, to April of 2019 when we became a affiliate. Like, I just ran with, there's no going back, man.
I think that's why Twitch is maybe a little better when it comes to live streaming anyways. For like video creation, obviously YouTube's been the king for a long time. When it comes to live streaming, I think this is why Twitch is definitely like staying up there, because it has something for everyone. You know, you have podcasters like what we're doing now. You have people like you that are creating music or playing their own original content on stream. You've got people that can do art streams, like bits of it. Dude. I mean, Duo does cross stitching on his stream. I mean, literally everything.
Absolutely. That's been something that's blown my mind too, is just not only the friends that we made, but we have met some unbelievably talented people through this platform. You know, Jazzy making our logo and our banners, right? You know, people like you who put together podcasts and stuff and have you know, big dreams and are outspoken like me, you know. To people like Emma, you know, Emma Night Art, or Zambies, you know, people like that, Mocha, who's a writer and an artist. You meet these people with just these unbelievable talents, and you find that, you know, you see them playing games and stuff. Next thing you know, they're doing some cooking or some art or something like that. You're like, what the fuck? You do that too? And then you see me like, oh my God, you're so fucking talented. And then, you know, these are your friends. So you're just like, yeah, dude, support, go. And I mean, just encourage it, you know?
There's some weird parts of Twitch. I mean, when I first started streaming, I was streaming like straight from my Xbox. I think I started playing like Batman and Tomb Raider with no webcam, literally just me with a headset on, streaming straight from my Xbox. And then I met RD Boomstick, and
shout out to Sticks and Vicks, dude, on the upcoming mini Sticks and Vicks.
They were like some of the first people I met. They were like massive supporters of my channel. I was like always in their stream. And the weird, like, I went from streaming Batman from my Xbox with no webcam. At one point, I was in their Discord server. We were just laughing and joking about it. And I started a stream up, and I was like, I'm going to show Americans how to make a cup of tea the right way. Like, I'm going to show you guys how to do it right? So it started out as a joke stream. I was only supposed to be there for maybe like 2 minutes to stream me making the cup of tea and then end the stream. And for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after, I was still talking to these people in my chat. Like,
right.
I was streaming to like 15 people. My first just chatting stream was supposed to be like a 2-minute video. So we went from playing Batman with no webcam to me and Jazzy just chatting to these guys. Yeah. And then after that, I thought, you know what I could do? I could do cooking streams from my phone here. You know, this is possible. There's all sorts of things I could do. At one point, I had like 14 people watching me shave. Like, that was such, you know, talking about the weird things you see on Twitch. Like, there are bad parts of Twitch, like some of the just chatting streamers that get too much attention, in my opinion.
You know, you're gonna find that across the board on the internet. You know, it's certain kinds of content that, but this is how I look at it. It's like, not everybody's content is going to be for everybody. You're not going to like everybody's content, and there's no obligation either, right?
Yeah.
Like I know, like, certain people that I think you are as well. I think we've talked about this, like Dr. Disrespect, right? Like,
yeah.
I have on a certain level, a fair amount of respect for the person because they've done a lot of things for streaming, and they got a TV show coming out, all this kind of stuff. But their content, not for me. That is not, and there's certain things about the person that are just, they don't resonate with me. It's not my shit. That's not what I'm about. And that's okay. You don't have to be. I'm not going to sit here and trash anybody, and I mean, believe me, there are trash people out there. There's some super trash people out there that are making headway in the space. But the thing about the internet is that, like, if you engage with that, if you decide to be negative about it, you engage with it, then at that point, that's on you. Like, it's real fucking easy to walk away. I've always said, when it comes to whether it's Twitch, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram or something like that, you see something you don't like, curate your shit. Be like a fucking art museum. Yeah.
That's even a thing you can do in real life. If you don't like the argument with someone, you don't like what they're saying, you don't like what they're putting out there into the world, then fuck them, dude. You can walk away whenever you want. I mean,
right. And that's what I've said about my friends, that I grew, people that I've grown up. Again, there's not a whole lot of love loss and stuff like that. But when you realize that your paths are going different directions, you realize that you're not living the same kind of life. You don't really connect as much anymore.
You don't relate to their situation.
Yeah. Why? Your time and your energy are the most important, right? That's yours. Your life is yours. You live your life through your eyes. The only time you see your own fucking face is in a reflection or a camera, right? You're living your life through your eyes. And so your time and your energy, that's what's important. Why waste it? Why stress yourself out and run yourself through the ringer to beat your head against a fucking wall?
You only get that time once as well. You only get that time once.
Exactly. So as far as I know, at least what I believe, everybody's free to believe what they want. But as far as I know, we get one of these, right? We get one go around.
Reason to believe that you've seen. Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, religion is something we can talk about. I mean, I'm
happy to.
I'm actually agnostic, so I don't believe. I believe, like, once you're gone. You rot in the ground or you're burnt. That's it. Like, you're done. There's no. I mean, it's if people want to believe, and I don't know if people believe in religion and the afterlife and stuff because they're worried that once they're gone, and they need that sort of sense of what's the word? They need that sense of, like,
comfort. I think it's comfort. Yeah. And that's kind of me. Like, here's how I look at it. None of us know, right? Nobody knows, and you can't blame people for being afraid. Right. Yeah. That because uncertainty creates a lot of anxiety, whether it's something as big as, like, your faith or your beliefs, or whether it's, something as, like, just, trying to plan for the future and not knowing how things are going to work out, or not being able to read other people's minds or whatever, and how they feel about you or whatever. Uncertainty does create a lot of anxiety. And I think many belief systems are born out of that uncertainty. You know what I mean? And so the way my mind works is, I lean towards the scientific, right? I lean towards the what you can
see, what can be proven.
Yeah, exactly. Now I will say, like, part of that is, when you look at the science and that we're all, it's like, not to sound like a super hippie over here, like, we're all made of stardust, bro. We're all made of stardust, dude. No, but part of that is true. We're all made of the same shit. Like, everything out there in the universe is part of us, and we're part of that. So, and I think inherently as human beings, right? Like, we know that no matter what you believe, we know that inherently we're all connected as human beings, as sentient creatures, right? We're on a ball that's not just sitting here just spinning around the sun, but we're also flying through fucking space.
Yeah.
And the fact that something else hasn't just smashed into us and destroyed everything yet is pretty fucking crazy. It's implausible.
Millions of years. So,
just makes. And not only are we here on this planet, not only we survived this long, but we've also survived long enough to know all of this, to figure it out. I mean, we're still learning a lot, and we're still trying to figure so much out, not just about what's out there in space, but what's here on our own planet. But it's like the fact that we've become knowledgeable enough to, like, develop these scientific methods and to start figuring out how the universe works, it's nutty. And I think that, you have to, whether you think it's God, whether you think it's, the earth, whether you think it's the universe, there's something bigger that connects all of us, and that's being human.
Yeah,
there has
to be that reason we're all here as well.
Right. And so no matter what you believe, knowing that we're all connected and knowing that we're all human, and that this thing that we call life is so much bigger than all of us, I'll tell you this, no matter what you believe, as long as you're going about it being constructive and doing it with love for other human beings, you're doing it right. But to go about it with hate and destruction, and to take your beliefs and try to just shove other people down because of them, that's a complete disservice to what it is to be human. That is a complete disservice. So I don't fault anybody for believing whatever they want to believe, as long as they're doing it with love and supporting and being constructive and being there, loving other human beings despite differences. Fine.
And that's
just do not hate.
That
you know what I mean?
Back to sorry to interrupt. Like when you were saying people like with uncertainty, it builds to anxiety, and that's why they don't. That's very much why people have a lot of hate and like
it's the fear.
Like fear. They have that anxiety. They don't. People hate what they don't understand. Exactly. It's not that they don't hate someone else for believing. They just don't get the person's like train of thought. That's why like hate is always like racism, religion, xenophobia.
All the isms, dude. Racism, sexism, ageism, and transphobia, homophobia. Yeah.
People do that because they don't get what basically the train of thought from the other person. They've never experienced that. So their way of like dealing with that is to take it out in hatred or anger or whatever else, if you don't understand something, it's easy to be frustrated with it. But
and that stuff is learned too. We're not born with hate. We're not born with that shit. That stuff is fostered through generations of it. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? It's fostered by upbringing, by culture and society, where you are in the world, and luckily for us, Fozzie, we were born into a relative privilege. No matter like economic status, people that look like us don't suffer near as many disadvantages as people that don't, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people that look like us are brought up in a way to believe that there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a, what I mean? And that's unfortunate. The way I see it, it's like I've been born with a face, a skin color, and into a relative economic status that has provided me with a lot of privilege. And what you do with that privilege is what kind of defines you, I think. It's like, do you choose to take that and lord it over other people and decide that you're better than everybody else and to hate on other people?
Or do you decide to use that people that aren't?
Right. Use it for good and create equality and equity and to love other people, again, despite difference, despite all the things that, again, we might all be different, but we all bleed red, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I actually read a quote maybe about a year ago. I think his name's Jordan Peterson. He's like a doctor. He's like well renowned for shutting people down. And he actually says that racism, believe it or not, can be genetic. Not physically genetic, where like it's passed down through basically from like your mother or your father, but he means fuck Jordan Peterson. Nah, I like Jordan Peterson, man. He speaks some sense in my opinion. And he was saying it's not genetic that your family can pass it on to you, but it's that they can teach you that, If you've got a racist mother or a racist father or whatnot, or if both your parents are racist, chances are you're going to grow up to be a racist person. And you're not going to know any different because you're programmed like that from a young age, Yeah. If you're taught something your whole life...
you can mature and grow. Yeah, you can mature and grow beyond it. Both Cara and I grew up in an area, it's a rural area, here in the U.S. and in the Cleveland area, but there's a lot of people that still flying the Confederate flag, still holding very racist beliefs, and even family members, I can speak to like that hold beliefs that I just make me sick to my stomach. You know what I mean? And you can as you grow and mature and are presented with ideas, I think if you keep an open mind and you're somebody that can be pragmatic and be logical about things, and you see reason, it's very, now I wouldn't say easy, but at least for me, it's nothing to move away from ignorance. You know what I mean? Once you learn those things. And again, my privilege, my upbringing, I'm very fortunate, very, very fortunate to have had parents that are progressive in their ways of thinking. My mom, teaching me at a very early age how to, as a man, how to treat women and how to treat other people. My mom working in a community where there, a lot of people of color, and treating me, teaching me that like we're all human. My dad, he was born in the 40s. He's almost 80 now. So I have, decades of experience of him, and he is like up there as like best fucking dudes ever. You know what I mean? Like he just has massive respect for all manner of people, has no judgments, and just has taught me that from a very early age that like you treat people with respect regardless. You treat every human being you come across, you treat them with respect. Even if you vehemently disagree with them and their way of life, you treat people with respect. And it's what we got to do, So
we actually didn't agree to discuss this, but a question while we're talking about like religion and racism and homophobia, all the isms.
Oh yeah.
Do you think as like a race, the human race, people have started to take offense to things too much? Like how we live in like an acceptability culture now where everyone has to, I can't think of the word, like an inclusive sort of, in the first world anyways, like, America, all the isms, they still exist, people are still very much racist. It's just concealed better, people are a bit more afraid.
Or, thanks to certain politicians, it's not as much concealed as it should be.
Yeah. Do you think like acceptance culture's gone too far now? Do you think we're allowing like too much shit to slide? Or do you think...
I think there's a balance, right? I think it's important to understand that when we make certain kinds of jokes or say certain things, we're being, there's a subsect of people out there. There's going to be a group of people out there that are going to take offense, and it's not our job to then get offended because they're offended. Like, how dare you be offended at what I'm saying? It's our job, I think, to understand why
they're offended. It's about accountability of the person.
Exactly. Again, Fozzie, being white dudes, right?
We
white
haven't
dudes
experienced anything.
Yeah, we don't experience that kind of oppression. Certain people do. You look at like the wealth gap in economic status. On a certain level, everybody gets oppressed. But I'm of the belief when one person is oppressed, we're all oppressed. Right? We all need to be making it. We all deserve a chance at like being happy, being treated fairly, being respected for our beliefs, our sexuality, our skin color, whatever we are as human beings, whatever we choose to be, we all deserve respect, right? And so if somebody says to you, hey, I would appreciate it if you didn't say something like that, it's not the response shouldn't be, well, fuck you for telling me you don't want me to say shit. No, your response should be, oh, okay. Why? You know what I mean? Not like a why, like, well, why? No, it's more like, let me understand.
Me and you have actually had this situation before where I used the R word, and you asked me, not to, because you don't like the word, because you've got family that what can I say, like disabled, I guess.
Yeah, my niece has Down syndrome, and I have a couple of kids in my family who have had autism.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things. Again, we all grow and mature. You know, when I was younger, again, I'm not saying this to offend, obviously, because this is not shit I say now, but you know, when you're younger, you're like, oh, dude, that's gay. Or you're like, oh, dude, that's fucking retarded, dude. Don't fucking do that. Right.
Yeah.
And right. And you say those things because, you know, you don't know any better. But then as you grow and mature and you learn that, like, you know, when you say that, there are a plethora of words out there that you can use that aren't going to offend. Right. You can say that's stupid. You can say, you know what I mean? You can say that's ridiculous. You can say that, you know what I mean? You can say that, like, these things without, you know, putting, you know, a whole group of people in a box. You know what I mean? Because, like, I dare somebody to fucking, like, talk about my niece like that. You know, I dare somebody to talk about my cousin, using words and homophobic slurs and shit. Like, I'm not of one sexuality. I don't adhere to one thing. You know what I mean? And so, like, perfect example, you know, I got kids that I work with, right? That, you know, I do a free meal program and I do children's programs at the library where I work. And I work with these kids who are part of a culture where it's like, do you gay? Like, stuff like that. It's just kind of like commonplace. And I dead stop them. I'm like, hey, nope, we're not talking about that. And then I sit them down. I'm like, here's why. I was like, you don't know who people are. There's nothing wrong with that. You can use better words. You know what I mean? When you say things like that, it's hateful. What if I said the N-word? That's not cool, right?
No.
It's the same
it's like
shit.
About holding, like I said, about accountability. If you're holding them accountable from a young age, then they learn that it's not acceptable. And maybe they don't, like, because they're from maybe like disadvantaged backgrounds, they don't have that, like, figure above them to teach them that.
Oh yeah.
And then if
I work
in
an area where it's a lot of broken homes.
If they didn't have someone like you to actually pull them up on that and say, look, you can't say that shit, it's not cool, they'd go through their whole life believing that's fine. And then when they get older, they don't learn any different, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I take a certain amount of personal responsibility because, you know, I don't have my own kids, right? But I am in these kids' lives every single fucking day. They come to me and talk to me about their schoolwork. They talk to me about, you know, what's going on with their friends. They talk to me about their relationships. They confide in me because they might not have it at home. You know what I mean? I work in an area where it's bad there. It's a food desert. There's, you know, public housing. There's a drug rehab clinic. There's a lot of violence and things like that go on in the community. And these kids need somebody to turn to that is going to take a certain amount of personal responsibility for them. Because again, some of them don't have it. Some of these kids are living in fucking homeless shelters. Yeah. And, you know, their parents are out there, like, on the streets. And they're just, like, trying to live their lives. And they need somebody to turn to. And so again, it's just like, I'm not trying to say impart my views on them, but I'm trying to show them a perspective on the world, right? I'm trying to just, like, let them know. Okay, so my motto for a very long time has always been be a beacon, right? Like a lighthouse. You know, there's a lot of darkness out there. It gets pretty choppy in those seas, you know what I mean? And somebody needs to be a light in the dark. And that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be that person that says, here's what I'm about. Let me be that light. And if this resonates with you, come on, I'll see you in through the rocky shores and I'll guide you to someplace safe. And that's what I want my community to be about. I want it to be like, you will be safe here. You will be respected and accepted here. Whether it's the kids that I work with, the people I meet on Twitch, or somebody I meet on the fucking street. I'm going to be a beacon for who I am as a person and for love and being constructive. And if people will let me, because consent is important, I'll give you a big old fucking hug and tell you I love you and that you're appreciated and loved in this world. I'll make it happen. You know?
I mean, going back to the discussion as well, where if someone says, oh, can you not use that word or that phrase or whatnot? If you respect that person as a friend or the people around you as people, there should be no argument about that. If they say, oh, well, I don't like that phrase, I don't like that word, they shouldn't be like, oh, you shouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm not going to change my vocabulary just for you, fuck you. You know, if you respect that person, you should be like, yeah, no problem, I apologize, and that should be it, you know?
I've cut people out of my life for that. You know what I mean? Like, I've had people like where I've been like, don't say that. Like, that is not okay. That's not funny. You know what I mean? And then I'll have somebody say, no, dude, everything can be a joke. Everything's funny. And like, so rather than respecting me enough to understand why I'm saying that, they'd rather tell me that I'm being weak or something like that. They'd rather put me down and just,
opposed to accept
brush aside, how I feel about something. And it's just like, that's close to my heart. Like that shows me that you don't actually care about me.
Like,
so why the fuck do I want?
Yeah, you're not an empathetic person whatsoever.
Right. So why the fuck would I want that in my life? That you're not going to respect my feelings and who I am as a person and what I believe. You know what I mean? That you're just going to brush it off and laugh at me or something like that. Nope. Bye. Later. I don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Kaverki, I think Smaller gets a lot of respect for what he does in terms of, looking out for everyone else, showing positivity to everyone. His catchphrase, be a beacon. Kaverki said, do you get respect for basically...
Oh, yeah. Well, see, you're going to run into people out there, and I'm even, there are streamers out there that I consider friends that would be of this belief that they think you shouldn't talk about this kind of stuff, right? They're like, hey, you should keep your politics and your beliefs out of your content and out of your streams. Just focus on the game or focus on that other stuff. And, or else you're going to drive people away, or else, you won't get the views that you want, or you won't get the blah, 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 blah. Honestly, fuck that. Like, that's not me being true to myself. That's not me being who I am. And I want people to be there for me. It's the same reason, like you see all my tattoos and I got my gauges and shit. You know how often, when I was going through school and I was going to get my degree, that people are like, well, you shouldn't do that because then you won't get this job or whatever. I was like, well, if somebody's going to hire me, they're going to hire me.
Not your tattoos, or they're not going to hire your appearance, essentially.
Right. So if somebody's going to support me and my content, they're going to support me and my content. And if somebody agrees with me or disagrees with me that vehemently and doesn't like what I have to say, just like we said before, you can walk the fuck away.
Walk away, yeah.
Right.
I mean, if someone's not going to support you if someone won't watch your game or your gameplay or whatever because of your beliefs or your what's your content, then do you really want them there anyways? You're not going to miss them anyway. They're not going to put anything constructive or positive, into a conversation.
Exactly. Perfect example. Had somebody in the chat recently who had actually been pretty supportive, right? And we were having a semi-political discussion during the stream, and they said something. I thought they were just being trolly, right? They said something about the person who currently lives in the White House right now.
You was just sick in your mouth a little thinking about it.
Yeah. And I'm just like, we don't talk. No. And I'm gonna let you know, right? Like, if there is a person in this world who has brought me real close to like sincere, like loathing, right? In this, it's that, and the beliefs, the people that are not people. I'm sorry. It's the what that person represents, right? And I say, I'm sorry. We just keep that out. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm about. And I started to explain it. They came back later and I thought they were going to be apologetic, right? And I told them that, they started being apologetic. I'm like, no, it's cool. You can, and I gave them that respect. I was like, you can have your politics. You can, disagree with me and believe what you want and stuff like that. And I was like, in a sense, I was being kind of funny. I was like, no, I made that abandonable word, like kind of as a joke, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I was just kind of, saying like, it's cool. Like, I hope you didn't take offense to how we said that, your beliefs and your views are respected. You're fine. I said, the only thing I won't tolerate in my streams is, again, the isms like racism, sexism, ageism, ableism, homophobia, all that stuff. And then the person decided to be disrespectful. They decided to call me a bitch, typical liberal fucking bitch, something like that. And I was like, all right, banned. I'll swing that fucking ban hammer, dude. I was like, as soon as you start insulting, you lost your
point. You've lost you lost it a bit.
And it's like, you're not gonna I can take a lot, but one, you're not gonna disrespect anybody in my streams or in my chat. You're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. You'll get a quick ban for that. You're gonna be respectful to everybody. But if you come at me, nah, dude, this is my space, dude. Like, you're not going to come into my house and talk shit. Like, no, get the fuck out. Like, no, thanks.
I mean, it's very much the same in most, like, first world countries where, like, you have a left and a right side. And I think most of the people that are on the right side, without meaning to be, like, ageist here, are of a certain age or a certain belief, usually the older
definitely tends to lean that way.
Usually the older generation are on the right side. I think I'd be right in saying.
People don't like change.
That's the way it is here in the UK anyways, that the older generation are definitely on the right side of things.
Well, and what's unfortunate about that is that I think, when you look at general society and culture has been conditioned now to believe that you're either on one side or the other, right? Which is unfortunate, because I think, like, inherently deep down, all of us being human, like we talked about, we all kind of want the same things. Where we disagree is about how we get there, right? And there are some hard line, like, belief issues, obviously, that create tension and stuff like that. But ultimately, there's a lot more common ground there that I think we're led to believe, right? And especially when you look at, like, the way, general politics and things like that have gone, it wasn't always like this. There wasn't always one side or the other, but that's where we're at now. There used to be common ground. There used to be more political parties. There used to be, more room for that. But the problem, at least in my mind, is the money that gets dumped into those systems and to drive for it. Because on both sides, there's a ton of money, right? And they're all fighting for that one glorious thing, that power and that money, right? I've said that we haven't been a fucking democracy for a long time. We really haven't. The money that gets dumped in here it's oligarchy, right? It's people with money that dump it at people and say, hey, here, I'm gonna get you into a place of power, but remember who gave you this money. And that's how this shit works now. And it's on both sides.
In England, it's like the media, like newspapers, TV, they dump millions, if not trillions, into helping politicians get to where they want to be.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to public radio. All right. I'm going to say it right now. And, here, I don't know if you guys have something similar in the UK, but we have what's called it's public radio, NPR, right here, which is like the last bastion of real journalistic integrity. You know what I mean? They actually present the news in a way that isn't biased and doesn't, like, lean one way or another. They give you the information, you know what I mean? Because it's whether it's the internet or whether it's on television or whatever, a lot of the stuff we consume completely lacks journalistic integrity. You're getting, stuff that's biased one way or another. And so it feeds into, this pattern and this cycle and the system that we're in, unfortunately. So, and I think that also helps to condition people, because when you're consuming and you're pumped full of a certain type of media and you're pumped full of a certain type of bias, that's it's going to drive you in even further in that direction and far away from the middle and far away from that common ground that we all should be sharing.
It's I don't think some people recognize, like, the power of the media, like the influence they have on topics like politics and stuff. I mean, here in England, we have the worst, this election, like the last 4 or 5 years, whether it be about like the Brexit referendum or whatever else, like the general election. I will come out and say this time I could not bring myself to vote for Jeremy Corbyn, who's the Labour leader, because I just believe he's a weak man. I don't believe... I would not want him sitting next to Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. I mean, he's just weak. But I also just would not want Boris Johnson, a fucking dithering idiot, sat next to them either. So I couldn't bring myself to vote for either. And I wasn't influenced by any media. I made my own decision just off what I see from both people.
Right.
But the media ran even though I'm not bothered. I didn't vote for either of them. I was neutral. I really didn't care this time. I genuinely think the media here in the UK ran the worst smear campaign I've ever seen in the time I've been live on Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
I mean, they exposed things he did like 25 years ago. They practically made him a meme in newspapers, making him wear photoshopped a Russian hat on him, saying he'd be Russia's bitch, you know, things like that. And it just completely swung the way our country saw the man. And it was.
I mean, if you want to talk about elections and stuff like that too, like, you know, back in 2016, the last election, like that election broke my fucking heart, dude. It broke my heart because you saw the money and the power at its full, like its max level influence, right? You saw it, right? There, you had a very real progressive candidate out there on the left side of things that was making headway and gathering support and doing really great things. And I thought would maybe move the country in the right direction, but the money and power on that side crushed Bernie. They sabotaged him because they wanted the person they knew would be on their side.
See,
right?
Jeremy Corbyn is the Bernie of England, basically. He's a massive socialist. He wants to help basically decrease the gap. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do not see how he would do that without bringing our country into trillions of debt, so I couldn't bring myself to vote for him.
Understandable.
So I was like, you know, I can't vote for someone who says, oh, well, let's just give everyone who doesn't want to work shit for free. You know, just throw money at people who have never worked a day in their life. But I couldn't vote for someone who said, let's starve everyone. Let's not give kids school meals while they're there. Let's literally make people who have stage 5 terminal cancer work for the last 6 months of their life. As long as they can stand up, they're fit to work.
But that's the choices. These are the choices that we're given, though, because of the money and power that are in our political systems. It's feast or fucking famine. It's you know what I mean? There's, again, no real middle ground. There are people out there that are trying to find a middle ground, trying to be pragmatic, but the system is strong. It's a snowball that's been rolling for a really long time. And once it reaches a certain size, it's damn near impossible to stop. You know, it's going to take generations to undo the damage that has been done, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether you're looking at politics, whether you're looking at the planet, whether you're looking at economics and the wealth gap, it will take generations to undo that damage. And it's heartbreaking. And, I talked about earlier not having kids. Like, I still want kids. I still want that. But thinking about the kind of world I'm going to bring them into, and will it be here? You know what I mean? That it's heartbreaking. And that's what I'm talking about with that 2016 election. You know what I mean? Entropy is a thing, right? Entropy is very real. If you have a glass in your hand and somebody grabs it out of your hand and smashes it on the fucking ground, but then comes back and apologizes for it, well, that's all well and good. But no matter how much you glue that glass back together, you're still going to see the cracks. It might leak. You might not, but you're always going to know that shit is broken, has been broken. It might not ever be the same glass again. I think that's the point we're at. Yeah, and I think that's where we are now. I think we have a generation of people, I would say, either around my age and especially younger, that see the broken glass. They finally see it. While other people are still cutting their mouths on it and drinking out of it, we got people out here that finally see it, and they're trying like hell to piece everything back together to make sure that there's something that we can leave next generations, right? And that's also been a big belief of mine. Like, the whole thing for me is like, leave this world better than when you fucking got here. Like, do your best to leave this world better so that generations after us, they have something to call their own and something to be proud of. And
like we were
can
saying,
leave something to be proud
you only
of.
get one time round the planet.
Right.
So, you know, you may as well leave it a better place for when it's the next person's turn, in a way. Going back to it, though, where I said I couldn't vote for Boris or Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
I feel like if I lived in America and I had to pick between Trump or Hillary Clinton,
it was the fucking worst. It was the fucking worst.
I could not bring myself to vote for either. Legitimately.
Honestly, I came real close to like just leaving that shit blank because I just felt like it was an impossible choice. Right. It was just, it broke my heart. But the way I looked at it, the way I voted, and I'm not ashamed to say it, it was a vote against, right? It was a vote just trying to fight the white nationalist hatred and the ableism, the sexism, all the shit that I saw in that campaign of his. And there was me fighting back. It was all I could do. It was all I could do to fight back. Right. And I'm going to tell you this right now. What shit is that motherfucker lost by 3 million votes. He lost 3 million people. He lost. But because of the system that's in place, here we fucking are. Here we are now. Look at all the damage. Look at all the bullshit. Look at everything that's happened in this fucking country because of a system that allows somebody to still fucking win, like a goddamn grade school talent show where everybody gets a fucking medal. Look at this. Somebody who still gets to win even though they fucking lost by 3 million goddamn votes. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Whoo, motherfucker. I'm telling you, man, like this gets me so fucking heated because how are we supposed to believe that we live in a democracy? How are we supposed to believe that our vote actually fucking counts and that it stands for something and that what this country is supposedly built on when somebody can lose by 3 million votes and still end up destroying every single step we've taken to move away from when the country was fucking great again? Get the fuck out of here. When was the country fucking great? When we had people enslaved, people oppressed, people beaten and hanged and shit for who they were as people? No, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not.
I mean, I've said to everyone when it comes to voting as well, there's a reason there's no vote of no confidence on your ballot paper. It's because if that was there, literally everyone would tick it. They wouldn't vote for
where would the money go?
Exactly.
Yeah, where would the money go, Fozzie? Yeah. What would these companies and shit do with their money?
Exactly.
Nothing.
I mean,
we'd have to give the power back to the people? What? The people?
I mean, I just hate the fact that if there was a vote of no confidence box on my ballot paper, I would do it.
Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Until they get somebody in there I can believe in. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know, I never lose hope, right? Because again, like I do believe in humanity, right? I believe in people. And I think there's enough people out there that see the direction we've been going in and want to change it. I think that that's there despite, you know, what again, we talk about the media, despite what the media might have us believe. I think there's enough people out there that want very real change for us to do something about it. So I got to hold out hope. You can't lose it. You know, and I always say, you know, even if you don't want to vote for candidates and vote for politicians, there are still reasons to vote, right? There are issues, ballot measures, you know, things like that can help affect very real social change and bring about the type of equality and equity in society that has been lost to us for so long, so that, you know, women and people of color and people of different sexual orientations and transgender folks can finally feel like they have something to call their own and are on an equal playing field as every other fucking person. You know, I think there's, you know, ways that we can get out there, but man, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's really, really hard.
I mean, with you talking about the votes not matching up to the result as well, it's very much the same here in England. Like the amount of votes do not correlate with the seats in Parliament. So whoever has the most seats, obviously, they have to get a majority, but basically the Conservatives here in England wouldn't have won their last 3 elections if the amount of votes correlated to the seats, but they actually don't, which is bullshit. So
Joker's absolutely right here. And with the way he's talking about our system, it's like it depends on where you live, how much your vote actually counts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. Fozzie, if you don't mind, I just need to take a very short restroom break because of all this coffee, and I'm an old man with a small bladder.
Yeah.
Would it be all right if I just took?
Yeah, I drank way too much Coke, so I'm going to go for a pee as well. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Right, we'll be 5 minutes, chat. See you soon.
You got troubles, put them in the past. Cause you're free at last, time to have a blast. You don't know it was so glad that you asked. It's the PodCast.
Yo, we are back. All the talk did have the bladders full, Joker.
Headphones here. Gotta get my headphones. I don't know how. Like, I set these things down. No matter what I do with these kind of headphones, no matter how I set them or like put them in my pocket or something like that, like inevitably they just end up a goddamn rat's nest.
Well, I just played the jingle again real fast while you were away, and we were discussing me and you emptying our bladder thanks to Joker. So I just realised I'm like a walking Coca-Cola advert today. I'm wearing a Coca-Cola t-shirt and then I'm drinking Coke on stream. Like,
nice.
Talking about politics, but capitalism.
Yeah, right.
Coca-Cola advert. Let's go. With me talking about Coke, though, and consuming so much sugar, I thought we could maybe go on to... We kind of skipped your veganism and diet here and went...
Oh, right. I was actually thinking that.
Straight slapped into the politics, but it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. We can.
I missed a few unofficial sponsor. Yeah, Coca-Cola, if you want to sponsor me. I tried getting Relentless Energy to sponsor me. So he's got his sponsor there, the G Fuel. I tried getting Relentless Energy to sponsor me, but they never applied. No longer containing cocaine, yeah, just because we have to clarify that for Twitch. So don't find me Twitch. I actually missed a few questions from about your content as well.
That's okay. Yeah. Ask away. I know, like, it's easy for me to get off on tangents and start, especially with these things that I'm passionate about. We kind
of covered it, but
yeah.
Just real quick, I wanted to touch back down on Okos fam and your goals for the future. So, how long did it take? I think you said you joined Okos fam fairly quickly into your streaming content creation.
Oh, not too quickly. I think it was just shy of being on Twitch for maybe a year, shy of a year. That I joined the team, the actual team there, and So yeah. It was about a year.
So when you joined them, how much did you know about stream teams? Like, what did you think stream teams were about at that point?
Well, I only knew them like kind of on the outside, you know what I mean? Smaller on the outside? No, I'm just just from like at a glance, mainly from what I knew of them. It was people who played, it was like these teams, like what is it, 100 Thieves or like Face Clan and stuff like that, where you see these like kind of bigger names that are out there, stream teams. So I didn't know too much about it, about teams. I just knew that like you see them supporting one another for one. Like you see that like the team mentality is always about supporting one another. There might be teams that like play the same game together and only play that game, and they just go out there as a squad and wreck, just kind of like how we got started with Dead by Daylight, and it being a relative focus, but we always we play like Call of Duty and stuff together too in other games. But from an outside glance, I mainly just was like, there's teams out there, that's cool, and for me, like, again, early on, even before getting to know like Sydney and Danny too well, the idea of being on a team seemed like a good idea. It seemed like a good way to go about it, just because then you're, casting a wider net for one. And, there's not only a great personal benefit in, being on a team, but it seems like there's a good community benefit to it too. Of just like developing, more personal relationships with the people you're on a team with. So, I always thought it seemed like a good idea. And like I said, like, even early on in my streaming thing, like I was like, oh, I really like, I like Sydney, and the community seems really cool. They've been really nice people. And so they had like an application, and oh, hi puppy. I applied even before really getting to know them. And realized later on, as I became friends with them, it's like, oh, okay. Like, probably should have waited, you know what I mean, until I actually got to know them a little bit, before I decided to just be like, yo, let me on your team. You know what I mean? And then it wasn't until, again, very privileged to call Sydney and Danny friends, like very real friends. You know what I mean? Once we became very real friends, and I was a mod in Sydney's chat for a while, and we had very long conversations during her stream, like hour-long conversations, just her and I, like just in the chat, just like, and that helped my day go by faster, and we just got to know each other and became friends. And I was just like, and then at one point I was like, hey, I applied for this a while back. I want to apply again. Now that I see what, I see what the community's about. And now that I feel very comfortable as friends actually DMing, Sydney and Danny and asking, just being like, I just want you to know, regardless of whether you say, yeah, come on the team or not, that I just want to be I love being a part of your lives. I love considering them friends, and what you're doing, I want to help with. I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And I think that was, I can't speak to how they made that decision, but I think when you go about it in an organic, genuine way, it only makes the decision to have you on a team, or, the decision to then be a part, on an individual level, be a part of a team. It makes it that much smoother, it makes it that much easier, and it makes the bond that much stronger in the team. You know what I mean?
See, the reason I ask all this stuff really is like for viewer insight as well, but for my own insight, because for me, I've never really, no disrespect, I've never really seen the appeal of being on a stream team. I mean, yeah, you get the community and you get the friendship. For me, I feel like it's very much like a trickle-down effect. So, like, the people who made the thing got partnership or whatever, and then it trickles down, kind of like a pyramid scheme in a way. So, the reason I asked that for me was I didn't really understand the appeal in it.
Oh, okay. So, for me, it was more like just letting my friends know that I fully believe in supporting what they're doing. you know, and when they asked me, I was just like, hell yeah. Like, of course I'm going to, like, I'm already a part of the community. I already support, like, I have no problem like continuing to support in that way. And I think that one of the things that also drew me to it was them letting me know that it was about friends supporting friends, right? And that what they wanted to do is they wanted to make it so that what they were learning and the benefits that they were gaining through their partnerships, their affiliateships, and what they were learning about now delving deeper into the industry, like working for a company like Lucid Sound, that's owned by Snoop, the headset company, working with G Fuel and stuff like that. They wanted to take the knowledge that they were gaining and the opportunities that we're gaining and share that with their friends. Like, and that was something that really appealed to me because, you know, ultimately my goal beyond anything else, you know, again, if you're not out here for yourself, like first and foremost, you got to be out here for yourself, right? You have to. Like if you want to reach goals, you got to be grinding for yourself. You got to hype yourself up. You got to, you know what I mean? It's got to be at a very real level. It's got to be about you, right?
Yeah.
And so my ultimate goal is to be able to do music and content creation. You know, the gaming is awesome. I love, you know, obviously I love video games, but I also a musician, and dream of mine has always been to, you know, make real headway as a musician and as a creator, as an artist. And so, you know, ultimately my goal is to be able to do that full time. So I don't have to work for other people. So I can make money with my hands. I can make money with my creative abilities.
That's the goal for everyone, I think, really. Some people, they start this out as a hobby and then they realize, you know, I enjoy doing this. I could do this as a job. I could do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a job if you're enjoying what you're doing, you know. You're just...
And if I have an opportunity then to learn how to better reach those goals and to make real opportunities for myself and to you know, make money doing the things that I love to do and do it with people that I consider very real friends, how the fuck am I going to pass that up? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, and that's kind of what inspired the whole OP squad thing too. Cause I was like, you know, I think it's about, here's my friends that I enjoy spending time with. We all have very similar goals.
Mindsets as well. Goals and mindsets, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, you're out here hyping yourself up. You're putting in the work. I can help you and help myself by working together. Right. We, you know, it's symbiotic. You know, it's that we can, again, cast a wider net. You know what I mean? We cast this wide net out there that like, here's this group of people that is out here loving each other, supporting each other, working on goals together. You know what I mean? I'm out here for me. But again, like I said about PAX or about getting my guitars repaired recently, I could not have done any of that without people like you, without people like Jazzy and Mocha and Nava and people on the OP squad, without Sydney and Danny, without people like Duo and Rico and fucking like, and everybody that has been here, maybe not even since the beginning, but just has been here and has helped support me. I wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now without other people. You know what I mean? And you got to be out here hyping yourself up. But you also got to know that it's not necessarily about reciprocation, right? It's not that follow for follow, sub for sub kind of shit. Yeah. But it's that like, it's showing, again, the kind of respect and love for people that are supporting you so that if you see that they have very real goals, it is letting them know that you have their back too. Right. And I think that's what being part of a stream team is on an even more personal level. It takes that Venn diagram and kind of shrinks it down like, okay, here we are. Here's a like a fistful of us. And, you know, we're much more powerful as a group. Right. Yeah. You know, out here, it doesn't do quite as much. But when we're all in here together, dude, it's a powerful thing.
If you surround yourself with like people with the same mindset, the same goals, positive mindset, then that's always going to be good for your own your own, your own like mental well-being, your own like motivation levels.
And to me, that's the big difference between what we're doing as an OP squad, what I've seen that we're doing with Okos Gaming, and then versus what I've seen with like some of these like streamer Discord communities and some of these other like kind of like gigantic stream teams that just like kind of go out there in the ocean and grab as many fish as they want and then throw them all in the same boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've definitely like, I hate to say, like I did it for the new year or whatever, but I've only really been engaging with people that I think, like surrounding myself and engaging with people on Twitch and in content creation that I think are actually, without meaning to be too, cliche, that I think are real and actually only are authentic, that only want to do things for not just for themselves but for everyone else. So people like you, people like Silenced, Joker, basically all of the OP squad. Too many names. Mocha, Jazzy, of course.
Yeah.
And then
it's funny you say that. Like, I had somebody the other day in chat. I was in their chat, and they were kind enough to shout me out. One of our friends, and they were like, this dude here. It's like their Twitter is pretty much dedicated to hyping other people up. I was just like, that is one of the kindest things that could have been said about my Twitter feed, because I do take a very real sense of pride in knowing that, in letting people know that if I see you're putting something out there and I consider you a friend, I see you're live, I'm letting everybody know about it. I'm going to let everybody know. Because again, yes, I'm out here to make sure that I'm reaching my goals, but it's not about me. It's about community. It's about building each other up. It's like a microcosm of how I think society should work. And so it gives me a sense of control and a sense of purpose to know that I can take what I believe and who I am as a person and apply that to helping other people. And
I mean, I said this on my stream last night, is that I only basically endorse or share anyone who I think's putting like real, genuine, authentic shit out in the world now into content creation, because
absolutely
other people, like external people that aren't part of your circle, will if you're there just shouting everyone out, and there are some communities that I'm in that are part of this, I don't want to call any of them out, but it's like, you get a shout out, you get a shout out, everyone gets a shout out, it then loses the meaning, because you're not doing it for someone, it's not a belief that it's, people will then see that you don't genuinely believe that person's content is good, or they'll think that you're just doing it for your own gain. And a lot of people do that. I go in some people's chat and they're literally just shouting out everyone, and I'm like, well, what's the point? It loses the meaning then, it's some bullshit.
I've tried to tailor mine back too. Like, I do love shouting other people out, but I'm trying to like tailor some of it back myself, because I get a very real type of anxiety where, if I'm say shouting somebody out, but then I'm not able, because of my work day or something like that, I'm not able to actually be in their chat and spend time with them. I feel bad. Like, I feel bad about it.
I was saying this last night. I said, we were talking about Pixie last night on my stream. And I was saying, I don't go in her stream anymore, but I see and I appreciate the amount of work that she's put in. And the fact that she's growing at like an insanely fast rate. And I respect her for that, She puts in...
She deserves it. She's a great person. Great
exactly. We were talking about this last night. I was basically saying, like, I don't go in her streams mainly because... No offense, Pixie, if she ever watches this. I have I usually watch on mobile, so I can only watch one person at a time.
Yeah, mobile sucks.
If I have a friend on that comes into my stream, engages with me and stuff, I'm gonna go to their stream, I'm gonna go spend time with them. But when I go down the view count or like the directory, when I first go to the homepage on Twitch Mobile, I see Pixie putting in work. She is growing like all the time. The same for Zambies, you know.
Oh yeah,
Zambies is fucking going off right now, like OP. So
one of the most talented fucking artists I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit, I supremely enjoy their content. Yeah, you know, one of my things, and I think there's an understanding, I think, amongst our group of friends, right? You know, in circles, there's a very real understanding, and this is why I support a lot of these, you know, these people like Pixie and Zambies, even if I don't have time to stop by, because they understand, like they understand that, like, I might be at work, or, you know what I mean? Or, you know, somebody like yourself, Fozzie, or, you know what I mean, has been kind enough to trust me with being a mod. And so I got to be there. I got to be there to make sure that I'm being a mod. And, you know, and there is a very real responsibility in that if a bot shows up or some fucking troll or something like that, you know what I mean? Or like you're in the middle of a game and you need something to happen, you know, there's a responsibility, and I take that responsibility seriously, you know, and like, you know, Kaverki, who's been in the chat today, you know, Kaverki's not shy and let me know, like, hey buddy, like I've really enjoyed hanging out, but I got to go mod. Yeah, go. Yeah, fucking do your thing. I understand that responsibility. There's no love lost because of that. Not at all. Like, you know, if somebody has trusted you with being a mod, you got a friend you need to help out, go help out your friend. Go do it. Like it's cool. I'm not going anywhere. That friendship isn't going anywhere. Like
Jazzy just said, is the ones I really dislike this as well, is when people call me out for not being there. I mean, most of my friends are in America or Canada. If I don't make it to one stream and you call me, I'm there 5 days a week in your other streams, and the one night I don't make it, you ask where I was, I'm just going to fuck you off as a friend. Like, I'm there, like, you know, if I'm awake and I have the next day off, I'll always be in your stream. It's the same for Trap and Duo and Rico, everyone else who's on that time zone, I'll be there. If I can't, then I'll apologize for not being able to be there. You know, like last night.
Well, that's my thing too. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Like last night, I only did. Usually, I do long streams. You know, I'll go for like 6 to 8 hours. Last night, I did 4 hours, and then I came to raid you last night, but then your PC crashed.
Bro,
so I raided another friend, and then I fell asleep. I literally went upstairs. I fell asleep. And I came into your stream before I left. I was like, I'm sorry I can't stay, but I'm literally beat. Like, I need to stop streaming on days I've been at work because it just takes it out of me, man. It's just...
Yeah. You know, I'll always understand, but like, and that's my thing too. Like, because I care about people and because of my own mental health struggles, I get very real anxiety about if I feel like I can't be there for a friend. Right. If I can't be in, like, if I see, like, I mean, no joke, yesterday, like, you know, I came home from work and, you know, ate dinner and stuff like that. And I kind of conked out and woke up and, you know, was like, oh God, I'm supposed to be streaming, son of a bitch. And I'm like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And, you know, obviously the stream crashed and I had to boot it back up and everything. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, you know, I see you're streaming, Foz, and then I mean to be there. But then like I pass out after dinner or something like that. And then I miss it or something, or like, and then I got to start streaming. So I'm not really able to do what I, you know, get there like I wanted to. Like, I get part of that. Like I feel so bad about it. Like I feel so bad.
I'm the same.
So if somebody, like if somebody that I actually care about were to, like you said, for an example, like be like, where the fuck were you? Or something like that. Why haven't you been here? You know, rather than saying like, oh, it's good to see you. I know it's been a while, but it's great to have you in the chat again. Rather than taking that attitude, if somebody were like, where the fuck have you been? You're supposed to be here, blah, 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 blah. I'd fucking cry. I'd fucking, like, it would break me. I would feel so horrible. And why do that to people? Like, why? Yeah. Why make people feel bad for having lives outside of this? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Having to just take care of themselves. You know what I mean? There's like, you know, people will apologize for me. Like, I had a friend come in recently and they were like, I'm sorry I haven't been here. I was in the hospital because I was in a car accident. I'm like, don't you fucking apologize. Yeah, don't fucking apologize to me because you were in the hospital and couldn't be chatty because you were in a car wreck. I'm just glad you're okay.
This is exactly it.
And I almost started crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine like being the type of person where
that feels
somebody gets
to the point they have to apologize.
Right. Or being the type of person where, somebody's not there for a while and you're just like motherfucking them to other people. Like, fuck this person. Like, I can't believe they haven't showed up. And then you find out something horrible happened and that's why they haven't been there. Yeah. How do you fucking feel now? Like, no, dude, I'm not trying to put that out there, that kind of energy. And there have been people that like, I don't see them for months. And then they come back into the chat and they're like, hey, sorry I haven't been here. Shit's been busy, blah, 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 and all that stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm just glad. How are you doing? Well, it's great to hear from you. My friend, how have you been? It's so lovely to see you. That kind of stuff. That's the attitude you should be taking, no matter who it is. You should just appreciate that they took their time, again, as we talked about before, their time and their energy, and they put it to you. They gave that to you. That's a gift. Appreciate that shit.
It's like me when I started this new day job, because when I was out of work and unemployed, I could stay awake all night and I could stream all night. I could be in other people's streams all night, because obviously most of the people that are in my community and that I'm like intertwined with and I know, they're all on the US time zones. So I'd be staying awake all night, and then I was worried when I got the new job that maybe I'd fall off with my support game and people wouldn't really come and engage with me because I'm not going to their streams. So I'm like mega worried about it. And now obviously sometimes I stream during the days, like you and Silence can't really be here because I'm streaming days and it's just not convenient. But that support's always there no matter what. If you're a good streamer and you're in a real community and you grow in a real organic community like we spoke about earlier, it's always there no matter what, whether you have to lurk at work, got that the wrong way around, or whether you just come in when you can make it. That's all that it's about, Yeah, you shouldn't, like you said, you shouldn't be calling people out for not being there. You should be fucking happy that they're there when they are.
Right.
And I said this on my stream last night, is that a lot of streamers, whether they've been doing this a month, whether they've been doing it a year, whether they've been doing it 5 years, a lot of them, including myself, I've done this, is they make the mistake of focusing on who's not there too much, and they don't pay enough attention to the people that are there constantly, always supporting. Like,
yeah, dude, if I got one person there chatting me up, right? If it was just you or just Silence or something like that, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, you know what that means? Boom, I'm hanging out with my dude. I got my buddy here. We're chilling. Like, we're kicking it. Like, you're right there on the fucking couch with me, and we're gonna sit there and talk about our lives and stuff like that. I talked about Sydney and I having like long conversations. There's been times where like you would look at Sydney's chat and it's just all me, dude. Just all me fucking blowing it up, asking questions, being conversation. Cause again, nobody should feel alone. Right. And so if people aren't being chatty, fine, you lurk, that's whatever. But if I got that one person there that's just like asking questions, chatting me up, boom, it's like my dude is right here next to me on the couch, and we're just like hamming it up and having a good time, dude. I'm just happy. I'd be playing fucking video games anyway. I love video games.
That's what I said.
I've been playing them since I was a kid, right? I love it. I'd be playing music anyway. Right. I'd be making music and doing these things anyway. But the fact that I get to do it with people I genuinely care about, or to have anybody there spending time with me while I'm doing it, especially when like your adult schedule can isolate you to your routine and your schedule and make you feel really fucking alone in this world. Like, I think a lot of people would agree that once you get bogged down in being a fucking adult, there are times when it can get truly lonely. And feel very isolating. So to be able to have that opportunity to do something that I already enjoy and helps me take my mind off of that shit, but to have other people there engaging with me while I do it, it's a gift. It's an absolute gift.
Exactly. I mean, if you think, say you do 6-hour stream and a person sits there the whole time, if you have this is a really weird way to think on things, right? I have 11 viewers right now. if we do a 3-hour stream right now or 4-hour stream, and I stay at 11 viewers and they stay here the whole time, you think how many hours worth of time you're getting from them people?
Right.
Like, you add them all up. I mean, I don't even want to do the maths. Like 4 times 11, 44. You're getting 44 hours worth of time. Think about that. That's such a weird concept. You're getting. Yeah. I'm here streaming 4 hours, and in return, I'm getting 44 hours worth of someone's lives. Right. Think about that. That's insane. Yeah. Like, if they want to come to your stream and spend time there and chat to you, or even if they just want to lurk and watch your gameplay, you know, it's a privilege. Yeah. It's not a fucking. Absolutely. You know, you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you're not entitled to any of that.
Yeah, exactly. Right? It's not an entitlement. Right. It's a privilege and an honor.
Right. And that's why nothing pisses me off more in this content creation space than when you see those like clips of people that are fucking ranting and raving about how people aren't subbing and people aren't doing this type, like aren't supporting enough and aren't throwing money at them and shit like that. You know, there's a video that started circling recently about somebody being like, you have all this time, but you can't give me $5 fucking, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know what? Fuck that person, that piece of shit. Like, yeah, they have all that time and they're giving that time to you. You should be on your hands and fucking knees and thanking them for giving you their time. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you do have people, again, we got our PAX East tickets, I got my guitars fixed because people have not only been generous enough and been saintly enough to spend their fucking time with me, but then to throw their hard-earned monetary resources my way, holy shit. Again, chills, man, goosebumps. You kidding me? Kidding me? I can't thank people enough for that shit.
I mean, think about it this way as well, is if you do a 9 to 5 every day, you're working 8 hours a day, and then they come to your stream and give you another 4 or 5 hours of their time, they're spending over half their day. And then if they come in and they sub as well, they're essentially giving you more of their time because they're giving you time from that 8 hours that they're at work because they're working for that money. So yeah, dude. To be an underappreciated like piece of shit, fuck people like that. They don't belong in.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, there's millions.
Yeah, enjoy continuing to get no subs because you don't fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
You don't deserve it if you're going to treat people.
I mean, there's millions of fucking streamers and you have to give people a reason to be the reason they come and watch you and give you like that harder like time or, you know, gain subs or whatever. You can't just expect people to do it just because you're streaming. You know, when you take once you start getting a certain like following or you grow so big, you know what you're getting into when you make that decision to do this full time. You know what you're getting into, and if you're not making enough money to pay your bills or whatever, that's on you as a grown-ass adult. You've made that decision to sit down, knuckle down, and do this. Be fucking responsible, and don't do this as a full-time job unless you know you've got a solid community that are going to help you out.
Yeah. Oh, and that's my thing. That's why I've made it clear that my goal is to be full-time because the people that I met, the community that I'm building, I believe in that shit. Yeah. And so if I'm not earning the type of like, you know, finances through it that I have as a goal, I don't sit there and I go, what is wrong with them? Why aren't they supporting? I go, what can I do?
You have to look at yourself.
How can I earn that? What do I need to do to earn that? How can I make my content better? How can I make their time worth it and their money worth it? You know what I mean? And I already, you know, having already had people support, finally feeling like people see what I create, my music or my personality as a performer and things like that. Having people say that their time and their money is worth giving to me for that, man, it's hard not to sit and just like sob tears of joy, you know, to just think about, oh my God, man, 20 fucking years of hard work into my music and constantly self-doubting and questioning, as I put before, is like, where am I going to find that support? And to have people say that what you have put together, what you have created is worth something, whether it is time or money.
It almost feels like you're at peace with it, doesn't it? In a way.
Yeah. It just like, it helps so much, with not just, moving forward and continuing to be motivated, but also there's very real mental health struggles that I have, which is always also why I've made, mental health advocacy and awareness a part of what I'm doing as well, because like nobody should feel alone in this shit. We're not solitary creatures.
Talking about that, I could go into honestly, I could go on a mad tangent with mental health and
same.
How my streaming's like collaborate, like fixed that, but also been really bad for it at the same time. This can like
double-edged sword.
This can either make your like your mental health struggles, it can help you massively, or it can make them 50 times worse.
Oh yeah, I've had panic attacks related to streaming, because there have been when I finally realized, like there was a point where I realized that I could really do it. Like I could do it. Like I believe that I can do it. But that belief also comes with a lot of anxiety, right? Like, oh man, like this is an opportunity. What am I going to do with it? How can I, keep growing and keep doing the things and not see, you forget that there's an ebb and flow, and you know what I mean? And you're just like, so I've had to like take off streams and things like that because of my mental health, and having to like calm myself down and not let myself get too wrapped up in numbers and these sorts of things, or like comparing myself to other people, which is a very real problem, I think, within the Twitch community. Sometimes a lot of people are like constantly comparing themselves to like, well, they got this many followers and subs and shit like that. What am I doing wrong? And it's just like, just focus on you, focus on your content, focus on yourself, make sure you're treating yourself well, self-love, self-care. It's easy to get distracted from that sometimes. I'm very guilty of that. I always have been.
When I first started streaming as well, I was doing it an unhealthy, like a seriously unhealthy amount. I remember you telling me about that. There was like one point I was unemployed. I had like my mental health was in the gutter, probably the worst it's like ever been. And streaming was something I sort of did to just put it was sort of like a band-aid on like a 5-inch deep wound, essentially. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was streaming not to take my mind off of things, like mentally, to try and give me someone to talk to. There was one point where I just did a 15-hour stream out of nowhere. I did not plan to do it. It just happened. I was just... This is where we had like no setup. We didn't have a desk or anything. It was just straight from my Xbox. I was sitting in this like... We've got like this really horrible like sofa chair behind me here. It's broken as shit. I was sat in that for 15 hours. I stood up
That's this fucking thing right here.
Yeah. My posture was like, when I finally ended the stream, I was like, holy fuck. Like, my back.
Thank you for recommending this chair, by the way. It's beautiful. And again, speaking of people in support, we have this chair because of our community, because of other people.
Yeah, I was just masking it with basically just like streaming every day. And it was taking precedent over other things, like trying to find employment, like my relationship with Jazzy, things like that. So there came a point where Jazzy just said to me, like, you got to if you want to do this and you want to be serious about it, she told me, like, blunt and honest, like, if you want to try and make a living from this and, like, work at it in the future, you're going to have to do it alongside, like, a dog shit 9-to-5 that you don't enjoy doing. And work them side by side, opposed to just grinding streaming, because you've heard this probably with one, your music, and two, I've used to be a musician myself, and streaming. For me, with my parents, whenever I tell them anything, they're like, "Oh, it's a pipe dream. You're living a dream. You'll never make money from that. You'll never make money from music or content creation or whatever." I got to this point where I was like, you know what? I actually can, so fuck you. Like, I've made enough money to pay for certain things like our setup,
Dude.
things like that.
Oh.
So
Yeah, the look. When I first started kind of like explaining, I don't think my mom really still quite gets it, because it is. We got to admit, like, as big as Twitch and all these things are, it's still a relatively new media platform, right? It's still something like the streaming space is still growing, right? And so, like, people who haven't quite been in the space and don't quite understand it, it does seem like this, like, they're like, yeah, okay, whatever you say. But it's funny to me because, like, I think my mom, for example, has always been, it's just one of the biggest supporters of my music ever. Like, she's always just encouraged me to make something of it because she believes in me, which is, I'm very privileged in that. And I told her about, this is something that I'm delving into. And at first she's like, yeah, okay, that's nice. Like, that's cool. They're still being supportive, but just like, you can tell there's like, it doesn't quite get it.
yeah.
When I finally was able to be like, yo, this month, or like my birthday or something like that, we like blew up this fundraising goal. We got these hundreds of dollars for tickets and stuff like that, repaired my guitars, got this chair, stuff like that. The look on her face was like, oh shit, this is for real. Like, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like, my goal is to like start the kind of like self-starting like creation business and community that can really do something, like can really bring something to the table, as far as like a space for artists and a space for musicians and gamers and people that are trying to do something creative and get out of this vicious fucking cycle that is being beholden to other people to make a living, being beholden to people. You know how, and I know I'm not the only one, obviously, but working for people who very clearly don't give a single fuck about you.
To them, you're just a number. Yeah.
You're a resource to them, and a bit that shit became apparent to me. I know about this, and I've talked about it, about what happened recently with our union. I'm so privileged to be in a union that fights for me as a worker, so that I have enough to make a living and have benefits and have these sorts of things. Because if not, I'd still be working like a job where like, I'm just like there. It's like, don't fuck up or else you're out. You know what I mean? You better be able to, just show up every day and do this stuff. It's trying to get out of that cycle. It's trying to say, like, I have something to offer other than just being a cog in a machine. Right. I have so much more to offer this world creatively, vocally, just all these sorts of things, all sorts of variables and aspects. There's so much more that I think we can do as human beings than just like, step one, do this, step one, do that, step one, you're here, now you're here, grind, die.
It's like, no. I go to work and I see the same people literally every day, the same customers, same people. There's the same woman. She comes and orders her meal in the morning for 12:30 every day on the dot, every time. You literally feel like you're in the fucking Matrix with that shit. Like,
right? You're just like, you get these senses of deja vu.
Content creation is like the other pill, essentially. It's like you want to freaking do it and wake up from the Matrix and do something where you can work for yourself and maybe like make a living from it. Where I work, like Jazzy just said, she worked there like 7-8 years ago. It never changes. But people that say, oh, you'll never make a living from music, you'll never make a living from streaming or whatnot, the best thing to do is just to do it and show them. And then when you get when you get up that mountain and you're at the top of it and you're making the money and you're sat at home working from your PC playing video games or playing your guitar, wave down at them and give them the fuck you. While they still do their shit 9 to 5 that they can't stand while the boss fists them all day, fuck them. Like, when we get there, that'll be it. So,
and I believe that we have that. Fozzie, I'm going to need to take another quick restroom break before we dive into another topic. So let's do that real quick.
Yep.
You got troubles, put them in the past. Cause you're free at last. Time to have a blast. You don't know it was so glad that you asked. It's the PodCast.
Yeah, just some proof here. I never left MFN. I do actually need to pee, but I can't really be bothered. I'll do it after. We'll be fine. Oh.
Okay. All right.
So another thing I was going to mention, with us talking about the future and the aims for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to mention was with us talking about stream teams and stuff and packs. Yeah. So I think we'll finally be able to like kind of cross this topic off the list once I'm done with this. We've talked politics. We can maybe move on to veganism and your diet after this. Cool. As the last topic. So with the Okos fam and the OP squad,
yeah.
What's your goals with them in the future? Like, what do you want to do with them?
Like with the actual teams themselves?
Yeah. Like, what's your aims to do with the Okos fam? Like, you're going to PAX East. What's the plans after that? Is there anything you can like give us? Anything Danny and Sid have told you? And like OP squad as a collective, what do you want to do with that? Do you want to kind of push that to the level the Okos fam's at and make that like your own thing, or are you trying to just keep that as like a casual collective where we all just play games together and stuff?
Gotcha. So I would say with both, having been in the streaming space for just about a year and a half now, and only being an affiliate on Twitch for less than a year, in both cases, it's a learning process, right? So one of the very real things I see with Okos Gaming is a chance to learn, right? A chance to, go to a convention with people who work in the industry like Sydney and Danny do, and obviously good friends, and learn what it means to dive into this industry and how to build real relationships with the kinds of companies and people and brands that their goals are to find people like us and to build symbiotic relationships to, again, further everyone's goals, to get everybody up there, right? So it's about learning how to do that, learning what it takes, how to communicate with these people, how to build the right kinds of relationships, how to, reach goals, and, ultimately, like I said, want to do this full time, ultimately get paid to fucking do it. It's learning. You go to these conventions and it's about building a business that is representative of who you are as a person. So if I want to further who I am as a person and my goals, and I want to build the kind of community and the kind of world around me that I envision, I got to learn the best ways to do that, and how to work within, the space and how things are done. And again, I'm very privileged to say that, being a part of Okos Gaming and working with Sydney and Danny, these are people who know how that shit works.
And that's the best sorts of people to surround yourself with when you're trying to learn these things.
Yeah. And not only do they know how that shit works, and not only can I learn so much from them and also grow with them and learn together, but I get to do it with people I call friends. So that's a huge privilege. Now, I want to take what I learn, right? And I want to take the opportunities that I can build for myself. And just like Sydney and Danny kind of do, I want to make sure that, anything that I build through my community, whether it is OP Squad or just the Discord or whatever, that I can say, all right, hey, friends, look, here's what I've learned. I have my degree in education, right? I work at a fucking library, right? I am all about passing knowledge, sharing knowledge, Creative Commons, it being for everyone. again, yeah, I got to be out here pushing my goals, hyping myself up, really working for me to make sure, because the only way I'm going to be able to help anybody else, the only way I'm going to be able to build the kind of community that supports others or build a team like OP Squad and help anybody that's on that team, like you or Jazz or Nav or whatever, like reach goals that you all want to reach. The only way I'm going to be able to be helpful is by making sure that I'm doing for me to learn everything I possibly can to pass that knowledge on, right? And so when I look at something like OP Squad, it's become like my baby. Like, I love you guys so fucking much. And it's like I have learned a lot about what it means to do something like that from Sydney and Danny, right? I give them a lot of fucking credit for passing that knowledge on to me, right? It doesn't mean I'm trying to do the exact same thing, right? I'm trying to do something for not only myself, but for the people on that team that we all work together. I'm trying to do something. I want it to be unique to us. I want it to be that. And I want it to be this kind of environment where it's not just me sitting here like, all right, OP Squad, this is what we're doing. Here's how this works. This is what's happening. I mean, I'm sure you saw when we decided to add Andy onto the team, right?
It was a great decision.
Right. I wasn't like, let's fucking add Andy on the team. Right.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what's happening. It was like, hey, what do you all think? How do you guys feel? How do you feel about this? What would you think if we decided to add, and I was even hesitant myself at first. It has nothing to do with Andy. It's more that like, I want to make sure that everybody that's on the team is in the best possible position to reach their goals and do what they want to do. And is doing the right, doing things the right way. And, I want to people focus. I'm not trying to add 100 people. Like, I'm not trying to do that. No fucking way.
You're trying to add someone that brings something like unique and has a similar mindset to the rest of us. Right.
Exactly. And especially with a game like, we do have a focus of Dead by Daylight. Right. But, while that might be a focus, it's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
Though I want to show people like that, we all do play this game together and we do that. Like, I understand that as we learn and as we grow, things might change, nothing is static, change is good, especially as we learn and mature and grow. And, as I take steps towards like making a career out of full-time content creation, I don't expect that to be an immediate thing, and I don't want it to be. I want it to be something organic so that I have an opportunity to take breaths and grow and develop. And so that, again, I have the time to take what I'm learning and bring that to other people and sit down and have personal conversations about how we do things and what kind of opportunities are there. As you saw with like, there's a game that's coming out in alpha here soon from a company called Red Hill Games. And I've put it to them, like, I know that this could be an opportunity for our team. So it's not like me being like, oh shit, I'm about to get partnered with this fucking game and it's going to be awesome. I see like, oh, here's a game that I think we can play together. And it's in its infancy. So we could possibly make something
like one of the founding groups to start playing it. Yeah,
exactly. If we like it, but then if we like, say we get into that alpha, we start playing, and then people say to me, you know what? I don't really fucking like this. I don't really want to do this. I don't want to play this game. Okay, that's fine. And that's how we make decisions as a team. I'm not gonna be like, nah, dude, this is what we're doing. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? You just like, that's,
I mean, the thing for me about stream teams is that I've had like 2 teams offer me something. I don't want to out names, but when they offered me this, they basically said like my tweets are actually like brand risks, and if I was to join them, they wouldn't want my out there tweets anymore. And for me, I'm just like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, dude. You're not going to censor me. You're going to stop me from being me.
And that's kind of like that's like what I wanted to ask you about, like Okos Gaming. Is that you're like kind of representing under their brand in a way. So you have to be kind of careful like with what you're saying. And I think that's why I don't think I'd ever join a stream team. Just because I don't want to be constantly sat there while I'm streaming or writing a tweet out or an Instagram post thinking, oh, fuck, I could get removed from the team for this. I could lose my privileges.
Right.
I'd rather just think like, you know what, if I'm going to do something and I'm going to gain something, whether it be a sponsorship or a brand deal, then I'd rather work with a brand that knows I'm like that, opposed to
well, actually, and it's funny, it's good that you bring that up, because when we got invited to be part of Ocos Gaming, that was a conversation we had. You know, I asked them, I'm like, you know, I'm a very political person, obviously. Yeah. I'm not shy about my beliefs or my lifestyle or, you know, who I am. You know, I don't want to be in a space where I'm going to feel censored, but I also don't want to be put them in a position where they feel like
you're a risk. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And so you'll notice, you know, in my feeds, I don't tag them in my political posts
because that's what brands are going to look at.
Right. I don't tag them in posts about veganism. Yeah, they're on my bio and things like that. But it's, you know, it's Ocos Gaming, right? You know, it's very specific. You know, it's a specific line of what I'm doing, right? So, you know, when I talk about my beliefs and stuff, it's not representative of them. Right. And that's what I really appreciated about Sydney and Danny when we had that conversation, is that they said, like, we're not going to sit here and like shackle you, right, and stop you from being who you are. This is about us building a team of friends that supports friends so that we can reach the industry goals that we have, you know, together, you know, and that was like paramount to us joining. Like, that was like, I was like, good, as long as I could be out here, like, you know, like being vocal about what I believe in my politics, as long as I can be out here and not feel like I can't be myself because of it, then you know, all's good. We're fine. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was a selling point for me on the two like teams that offered me a place.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, like, I'm not gonna water my shit down and fucking sit and worry about what I'm saying just because you want me to represent your brand. Like, and at the end of the day, the two teams that invited me, it was always going to be the people at the top that had the most to gain, you know? So I was like, you know what? Not a chance. I'm not going to sit and pretend to be this like positive guy that loves everyone, and it's just not me. Like, I don't think like that. Like, life, you're always going to get people you don't like. Like we said earlier, you can choose to argue with them and be petty, or you can just remove them.
Right. I curate, man. If somebody says some bullshit on Twitter that really just like is not what I'm about, you know, then I don't block. Out of my feed. You know what I mean? Like, somebody comes into my chat and is acting like a fucking troll or an asshole, like, bye. Like, I don't have time. I don't have energy for that. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be shy about it either. Like, I'm not, again, like when people are like, yeah, but you really shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't talk about this or that or the other. And I'm like, that's me not being me. You know what I mean? That's me lying to people. That's me putting on a facade, putting on a face. And that's not, no. If you're here, you're supporting me because you appreciate who I am as a person and what I have to offer. You know what I mean? And like, you know, we keep saying, it's just like, and if not, then there's millions of fucking people out there. I'm sure you can find your tribe, dude. I'm sure you can find your people. There's plenty of them out there. You will find your people. If I'm not one of them, no love lost. Just go on and be you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I've covered all bases on stream teams, what you want to do with your content. Yeah. We definitely covered politics.
Oh, yeah.
So the last on the list, we've got veganism, your diet, and when, why, what, and how, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just give you like I'll give you the rundown of like my backstory. Okay.
Yeah.
So most of my life, I was obese. Right. I was a big fucking dude. Right. I'm still a thick boy. Don't get me wrong, but I was a big guy. Right. I, played football as an offensive and defensive lineman in American football, like one of those big dudes out there just shoving people around. And I ate just trash garbage, dude, just shoved all kinds of shit into my face. Right. And one of the things I will say about that is it had a lot to do with my mental health and my body image issues that I had, and which is, something I'll get to later. I've cut a lot of things out of my life because trying to self-medicate in a certain way, my mental health issues, it led to a lot of overeating and these sorts of things. So up until the age I was about 25, 26, I was right around 350 pounds. Right.
Right.
I don't know what that translates to into kilos, but, I was just massive. I was massive. Right. And there was a day when I looked in the mirror and I decided enough of this shit. Right. And that's when I started just working out, right? Just 10 minutes a day, breaking a sweat, like go take a shower, get ready for work or whatever I'm doing, get ready for class or no, at the time I was out of school. Right. I had, at that time I was working at a smoke shop, right. Selling glass pipes and things and all the assorted accoutrement for your various inhaling pleasure. And
Jester coming in with an OP subscription. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, hell
Thank
yeah.
you, Jester. Thank you for that shout out silence.
Hope. Hell yeah, dude. Love you, Jester. But yeah, so at the time, my life basically centered around going to work at this head shop that I was working at, this smoke shop, coming home, smoking a ton of marijuana, eating fucking junk, and playing games and sitting on my ass. That was my life. Like that was it. Like it wasn't shit for me to say order from a pizza joint like Domino's, right? And I'm not kidding. I would order, like, say they'd have one of those coupons where you're like, for $20 you get 2 medium pizzas, lava cakes, cheesy bread, a 20-ounce soda, 24 wings for just $20. I'm like, fuck yeah, here's $20. And
order it and eat it all.
Eat it all.
Yeah.
Eat it all, dude. And I'm still a thick boy at heart, right? You see, I'm not skinny by any means.
It's that moderation though, that like self-control, yeah.
So there was a day, where I just looked in the mirror and I was just like, I'm either going to fix this or I'm going to die, right? I'm not kidding you. Like, I'm either going to fix this or going to die because my mental health is in the toilet. My physical health is in the toilet, and I have to do something about this. On a very real level, I have to do something about this. So started the exercise part of it, right? And eating healthier, I cut out fast food, right? Stop drinking soda, and helped dramatically, but I was still, still eating kind of whatever, still meats and cheeses and what have you, but just doing my best to moderate and cutting out the stuff that I knew damn well was unhealthy for me, right? I knew it was bad. And so then, I was working at that head shop and I got let go for various reasons. And I found a job with an environmental activist group. They were going out there and they were fighting oil and gas drilling, and fighting to make sure that there was proper legislation around it so that, the groundwater is safe and all the things that come from doing fossil fuel like extraction, just making sure that if somebody's drilling for oil in your backyard, that a bunch of chemicals aren't going to end up in your shit and, your family's not going to end up with cancer in a week. Right. So and I was passionate about it because it was happening in literally my backyard. So I was just like, all right. So I started that. And what happened was, this was the type of job that had you traveling for work. You were living in different states, helping out with different campaigns and organizations and moving around and doing a lot of community organizing. And I had the opportunity to, they sent me to another state, to work. And the people that I lived with was going to live with there for a month were vegan. Right. Probably still are, they're vegan. And in my mind, what I said to myself was that I'm going into somebody else's home.
You have to be respectful.
They're vegan. So I'm not going to bring things into their home that they don't bring into, that they don't bring into their own home. There's a lesson for people out there. If you're going to a dinner party at your friend's house and they're fucking vegan, don't bring a steak. I'm just throwing that out there. So I was like, I was just being respectful. And I said to myself, okay, for this month, at the very least, I'm going to try being vegetarian. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to bring meat into their house. They said, it's cool. You guys want to bring cheese? Because, well, no, the one person was vegan. The other one was vegetarian. So they still had like cheese in the house. So, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a shot and let's see how it goes. A week into this, I felt fucking amazing. Like I felt lighter on my feet. My body was telling me, dude, this is the truth right here. Like this is the way right here. And I went, fine. Thank you, body. I trust you. And have not on purpose touched meat since, right? Just decided this is how I'm doing it. Now, I continued to work in activism, right? And so you learn, through various environmental activism, you learn a lot about what's going on there with the environment, different industries, things like that. So though I may have started with health reasons, right, and continued, still in large part to health reasons, I also learned a lot about the animal agriculture industry through the work that I was doing, and learned about the damage that it's causing, not only to our planet's health, but
breeding more cows than we need, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And how unsustainable it is as an industry. So I stuck with it. And I was just vegetarian, still I whipped up some mean eggs in the morning with some cheese in there. I was just vegetarian, but I was still like eating eggs, butter, cheese, milk, all that fun stuff, all the different animal products. So I was just vegetarian for a couple of years. And then I, again, was moving around a lot because of the job, was in a relationship where I lived in a different state. That relationship ended amicably, I should say. It was still friends, but I had to move back home, and I moved back home and reconnected with a friend who is and was a yoga instructor and a staunch vegan. Right. We hung out a ton. And this person was like, you should really think about it. You should try it. Like try going full.
You're already essentially halfway there.
Right. Yeah. And they're like, just give it a shot. I also give them a lot of credit because they're the one that introduced me to yoga, which is something that I do on a very regular basis and highly recommend if you're trying to get healthy. It's a great full body fitness, has been an absolute joy to put into my workout routine. And my main workout routine is a heavy, high intensity interval training, strength and core training, and cardio version of yoga. It's fantastic. So I give them a lot of credit for that. And I also give them credit for pushing me to give it a shot and going vegan.
Jester, this is Wii Fitness. Sorry to interrupt. He asked what game it is. I said it's Wii Fitness.
Yeah, Wii Fitness. It's that new ring they put out for Switch where you got stretch it out. So same shit as when I went vegetarian, right? Not joking. And again, I'm not saying everybody's bodies are different, right? But this is me. I'm speaking my own personal experience. I'm not trying to judge anybody or anything like that. But a week after just cutting the rest of the animal products out of my diet, my body went, this is the way, dude. This is it. And I went, all right. Haven't touched it since, right? And this was now going on 6 years ago, right? And so that's been my life ever since. Yoga and working out, no animal products, living a plant-based diet. And I went from, again, when I was 25, 26 years old, right? I went from 350 pounds till, all right, so I got injured last year, which kind of, set me back a little bit. I gained a little bit of weight. But before I got injured about a year ago, I was at 170, 175 lean pounds, dude. Like,
holy shit.
I lost an entire human being off of me.
Like 180.
Regular exercise and a plant-based diet. You know what I mean? And again, everybody has their own reasons for doing things. But when I talk about being a beacon, when I talking about setting an example for what I believe and why I do the things that I do, you only need to look at my face, look at this shit right here.
All it takes for some people as well is for them to just become aware of what goes on in like the farming industry.
Yeah. Some people are much more on the animal rights side of things, which I definitely am. What happens, the way animals are treated in the animal agriculture industry is fucking horrific. It is absolutely horrific. And I don't necessarily blame people for turning a blind eye to that kind of shit because it is so fucking hard to watch.
Yeah.
Because these creatures feel, dude. They feel. They are sentient beings, right? And they're being tortured. They're having their children ripped away from them. You know, I have kids ask me, and I'm very honest with them. They ask me, well, why don't you eat this stuff? Why don't you drink milk? Why don't you do that stuff? I was like, okay, well, let me ask you this. Like, just let me put it to you this way. Say you're still a baby, right? Imagine somebody coming up, you're getting breastfed by your mom, right? Imagine somebody walking up to you, smacking you out of your mom's hands and latching onto that. I mean, I don't talk like this to the kids, but latching onto your mom's tit and just sucking your mom dry.
Some of these kids, like you said as well, actually lose their parents as well. So some of them...
And it's crazy. And imagine like then knowing that your mom is being forcefully impregnated to produce more kids so that they constantly produce more milk and they're just being cycled like that. It's horrific, dude. It's horrific. Now, some people believe that, well, we're humans, we're top of the food chain, so who gives a shit? That's not my belief.
Freaking jester. I'm having a buffalo chicken wrap. I feel like the bad guy.
Well, it's okay. And I get that a lot. You know, I understand, like, not everybody's going to come to the same conclusions I am. I'm not here to say, fuck you for doing what you're doing, right? There are some people that it's like what they're doing is horrific. And I'm just trying to say, like.
But the thing is, you can't hate them because they're fulfilling a supply and demand chain, really.
Right.
With farmers.
Yeah,
you can't hate on a farmer for trying to make money for people who are going to buy it anyways. Right. All that will happen then is that if he stops farming it, someone else another farmer will just sell it anyways.
I mean, look what happened to the Amazon, right?
Yeah.
All those fires and stuff. That's because people are trying to make a way. And that's, we go back to politics and talk about the wealth gap. You want to talk about the justice system. You want to talk about these things. When you put people under that amount of pressure to survive, they're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You can't hate on factory farms. You're right, Silence. You can, if you're going to eat meat, you can be privy and like smart about, eating the best meat, the way it's produced.
Well, something I'll say about that too. Animal agriculture is not sustainable.
Yeah.
The amount of water that is used, the amount of food that could go to people that is used to feed livestock, and the amount of land that it takes to fulfill that supply is 100% unsustainable. And you have people say, well, what if people just eat grass fed? All right. In order to do that, in order to fulfill the supply for everyone on this planet to be able to eat grass fed meat, you'd have to mow everything down, dude. You'd have to take it all down. It's not sustainable. And with the way population growth is headed, the way our planet is headed, it's to me, again, I'm not trying to speak for other people, but for me, it only makes logical sense. If we're talking about leaving this planet better for next generations and leaving something so that the next generations can survive, it only makes logical sense to me to move towards a more sustainable way of providing food. And with the developments, even over the last 5 to 10 years in vegan products and all this sorts of stuff, it is way easier now than it ever has been. It is so easy. It really, really is. These industries and the trend that we've seen over the past couple of years has made it exponentially easier for people to say, I can do it. You like burgers? Fuck yeah, go get a Beyond Burger and a Possible Burger, and I swear to you, it'll taste like the real fucking thing, right? You know, you like cheese. There's vegan cheese out there. It doesn't taste like plastic anymore. You know, it's crazy. Some of the stuff that I've had where I'm like, I literally bit into something one time and like, you're going, you got to go back and look at the packaging. Like, no fucking way. This is all made out of plants, dude.
I mean, we shop at Aldi, and we went there yesterday to do the shop.
Aldi's the truth.
They literally have a whole aisle dedicated to that now.
Like, their Earth Grown brand, because we shop at Aldi, their Earth Grown brand, not sponsored by Aldi, but would gladly be. Their Earth Grown brand is amazing. They produce some really delicious vegan food, like their vegan chicken, meatballs, grilled chicken strips, burgers, fucking all kinds of stuff. A ravioli, cheese, cream cheese, butters, all kinds of stuff. Like, and so like if you can eat. I literally have a shirt that says anything you can eat, I can make vegan. I guarantee you. And I can make it delicious. I guarantee it, And so I've heard everything under the sun as to where people say, well, I could never, or I can't, or I would never, or could never. And one of the things I've always said, aside from be a beacon, is like, you have a choice in life, right? You can either make excuses or you can make changes, right? That's it. You know what I mean? Like you can decide to move in a certain direction or make excuses why you either can't or won't. And that's a lot of what you hear out there, when you come across people who don't understand veganism and stuff like that. I mean,
I'll openly admit the only reason I still eat meat and dairy products is just because I'm ignorant. And I'll happily admit I'm ignorant. I don't care. And that might offend some people, but I eat meat, I eat dairy products. And yeah, MFN Joker, Aldi is an unofficial sponsor, just like Coca-Cola for this stream.
Unofficial
One
sponsor.
thing I will say about Aldi is as well is apparently the way they treat their staff is really good. They pay them a high wage.
They set standards. Their standards are set based on where the company started, which I believe it's a German company.
It is.
And Germany, lots of credit to Germany. They lead the world in renewable energy. They lead the world in these sorts of policies about what it means to have organic food and what chemicals can be used when producing food. They're leading the world in a lot of these things that are helping to further sustain our planet, while other countries like my own are only a part of the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Aldi is an amazing company in the way they do things. That's for sure.
You go meatless one a week? What, one day, you mean, Jester?
Oh, yeah, meatless Mondays, dude. Everything helps. Everything helps. Meatless Mondays is great. Veganuary that they just started doing. Even if, that's what I would say, right? If you're somebody that sits here and is like, I can't, I don't think I could, or whatever. If you do it right, which, hey, if you need some help, hit my ass up, dude. Like I will provide you recipes, strategies, all that kind of stuff, so that if you want to give it a very real shot, that you won't end up being one of those, as we call them, junk food vegans, or you won't become one of those people that is like has no energy because like you're just sitting there just chomping on a piece of kale and nothing else, right? You know what I mean? Like there's ways to do it right and ways to do it very, very wrong.
I accidentally had a meatless chow mein the other night. I was supposed to order a chicken chow mein, and I just ordered a normal one without any chicken. I actually just had like noodles, onions, and vegetables in it, and I didn't really notice any difference, to be honest, until I finished it. I didn't really feel full, and I think that was just because the chicken wasn't there. I'm used to it being there. I didn't feel full, but if I'd have had more of a portion, I think I'd have been fine. I wouldn't have known any difference.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll tell you, there's people like, tofu's fucking gross. I can't eat tofu. And I think you're not really supposed to eat a ton of tofu, but I'll tell you have it cooked the right way. An air fryer is a fucking game changer when it comes to tofu. Or if you make like a tofu scramble, I can see, I guarantee, first time I made a tofu scramble for Kara in the morning, she literally thought I was feeding her eggs. Like she thought it was eggs. And because you season things the right way. And that's the thing too.
Oh yeah, when it comes to cooking, seasoning is the key.
Dude, your palate completely changes. It's insane. Like before I went vegetarian and vegan, I despised tomatoes, could not eat beans. I hated them. And you know what I have with damn near every meal now? Tomatoes, beans, like all this kind of stuff. Your palate changes, your physiology in a sense kind of changes. Your body adapts. We are adaptive creatures. And you know what? You reach a certain point where, because salty fats and things like that, cheeses, they are addictive. Just like there's been studies, they're more addictive than like some drugs, like fucking cigarettes and stuff. They have the same kind of properties that release dopamine in the brain.
Sugar is actually the most addictive thing you can have in your diet.
Absolutely.
Sugar is allegedly more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, and when if you take the time to get past the withdrawals, you get past that point, and your body just stops craving it.
As someone that drinks like 3 energy drinks a day with all the sugar in, I can attest to that.
Yeah. Again, not sponsored by G Fuel, but this shit right here is fucking great. It's vegan for one, but the other thing too is one of the things that the only kind of like deficiency necessarily that you have with being vegan is B12, right? It's an important vitamin. And luckily for us, we don't have to take supplements. G Fuel has a year's worth of fucking B12 in every little bit of it. So we've covered all of our bases now, you know? And so again, you look at where we are now in society with food culture, what's available, and it is decidedly easier to make those choices. Now I will take pause, right? As I mentioned, where I work, right? There are still areas where it's not. Right? It's a privilege in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not going to take that line because there is that myth out there that being a vegan is somehow drastically more expensive, which if you're buying all the like fake meats and stuff like that and the specialty vegan products, sure. But just your base grains and fruits and vegetables, it's a bold-faced lie to say that being vegan is more expensive. But there are areas in every country around the world where access is a very real privilege, right? Where I work, it's a food desert. We're in a metropolitan area, but you know what's around where I work? There's a fucking gas station, and it's hard for some people to have access to fresh food. So it is a point of privilege to be able to do it. And that's why, like we talked about before, when you recognize your privilege, but see that you can use that privilege to make the world better. You should take every opportunity to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like Jester just said, he switched to sugar-free energy drinks. I think half the reason I'm overweight is because of how much sugar I consume. It's not that I lack doing exercise or whatever. It's just my diet's the trash thing. Like, I just eat garbage, and that's why I'm overweight, and I know that,
Yeah. Well, Fozzie, as I've said, you can make excuses, or you can make changes.
You can change them.
Yeah, and we're friends, right? Of course, I'm going to do everything I can. If you ever need help with any of that shit, I'm here for you. You know that I'll give you everything you could possibly need to help you along the path to health. And I will say this too. I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. When I got hurt last year, I got injured. I tore my pectoral muscle. I was working out, getting up at 5 a.m., 3 hours a day, every day, getting out to the gym, doing my shit, working out. And then I tore my pectoral muscle, and it threw my life for a loop, dude. It really, really did. A lot of mental health issues got in there. I started eating kind of like crap again, still vegan, but eating junk food, a lot of junk. And then also started drinking alcohol very heavily again, I talked about that mental health, that self-medication, just trying to keep that shit at bay. And that's why back in August, I decided to stop drinking, because I realized that if I can't, alcohol is not the problem. It's me. If I can't be responsible,
addictive personality,
right? If I can't be responsible, then I need to step away, right? Just whether it's a person, an argument, and you're getting heated and you can't be responsible with your words. If I'm doing things that are harmful to myself or to others, and I can't, you know what I mean? If I can't be responsible with my actions, then I need to put a stop to those actions, and I need to step away and reevaluate what I'm doing with my life.
Nakigro said his favorite vegan foods or drinks are patties, vegan queso, and vegan chocolate milk.
Oh yeah, there's some good shit out there. It's crazy. Yeah, we have a thing here in Cleveland every year called Veg Fest, where we get vegan brands and plant-based food companies and things like that, and it's like a big expo, right? And you go there and you try some stuff that is truly mind-blowing. Like you'll have stuff that like some vegan queso or something like that, or vegan mac and cheese, or vegan like barbecue and stuff. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what is this science? It's
Jazzy
crazy.
also said she's banning energy drinks from our house and taking my debit card, so I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, as a future G Fuel affiliate right here. I'm gonna tell you right now, get on it.
I know it's the sugar for me. We tried another like a knockoff brand of G Fuel called Sneak. That's here in the UK. I drank some of them, and I just felt like when I was gaming or streaming or creating content, whatever I was doing, just didn't give me that same kick. And I know it's the sugar, the lack of the sugar.
Oh yeah. See, for me, and it has some caffeine in it, but it doesn't I still drink I got my French press right here, dude. Like I still drink dark black coffee because I know I have I love the caffeine and I love coffee and stuff like that. The main reason I drink this is because for hydration purposes, for one, and for the B12, and it's delicious. Like it's great. So I mean, you can find it out there, but it's not going to give you that same sugar kick. It's not. I mean, it does give you some energy. It gives you a little bit naturally, but it's not going to be that same. It's like, for example, it's like going from hard drugs, to some. It's like you're not
going from a coke or meth addiction to like smoking pot or
it's not the same, but it's going to be better for you in the long run, and your body will wean itself off of the cravings and the addictive parts of that. It will. Our bodies, again, are very adaptive to that.
Nikigro said he actually ripped his pectoral muscle as well, so he feels your pain.
Dude, it's the fucking worst. I couldn't even do cardio because it hurt to breathe. It laid me out for an entire month, which up until that point, I had barely ever skipped 2 days in a row working out. It took me out for an entire month, and I am still trying to get my rhythm back and get my workout routine back. It's very hard. And mental health wise, the weight that I put on because of that has been very difficult to deal with. And let me just put this out there too. I got injured in February of 2019, right? And I was out for an entire month. So the entire up until March. And then, of course, my dumbass, what I do as soon as I could go back and work out again, I went in there and went way too fucking ham and hurt my back, right? You know what I mean?
I started jogging, sorry to interrupt, and I did too much too fast. I was out running every night. I was like, if I'm going to lose this weight, I need to be out every night. And I actually realized I got shin splints at one point.
That's
and
not self-care at that point.
I carried on running through shin splints.
Yeah. And I give a lot of credit to this platform and to the people that I have around me, like yourself, because shortly thereafter, April 2019, what happened, right? We actually hit affiliate on Twitch. We started growing. I started meeting people and all this stuff. And without, obviously, Kara being in my life, and without the wonderful support of people through this platform, helping me to feel less alone in my shit and helping me to take my mind off of things, I do not know if I could have gotten through this year the way I got through this year of my life. It's been one of the most difficult years. I'm going to tell you, it's probably one of the most difficult years I've had in my life since my friend committed suicide 12 years ago. I'm very, very on a very real level. Mental health wise, it has been one of the toughest years. But without the support of people like you, Fozzy, and the people that we have around us, and my partner Kara, without having that support system, I don't know if I could have handled it. So credit where credit is due. The beautiful people that I've had around me and made friendships with have kept my head above water. And
Nick Egro says he likes the dairy-free versions of Ben and Jerry's. Now Jazzy's pressuring me to go to the store after this.
Dude,
when we're done
vegan Cherry Garcia, dude. Whoo, buddy. That
FMJ said going to the gym sucks and that he hates people, but it's good for his mental health.
That's why I bought it. I have a stationary bike, some weights, and my yoga mat here at home now. I was going to a gym for a while when we first moved because we were living in an apartment for a while, and the part of the apartment complex we were living in had a fitness room that I could go to, right? But then when we moved, we bought our house. And we got into an area where I had to go to the gym. It's a fucking nightmare for me. I have social anxiety, right? And now I got to go with my body image issues, right? And go work out around a bunch of people. It was the fucking worst. Plus, you're around people that at points you can see that just aren't, I don't know. It's hard. That's a very difficult thing for me. So here's what I always encourage. One, I preach yoga. Yoga is amazing, and there's something out there for everybody. You start slow, and you can find your way to yoga can be one of the most kick-ass fucking workout routines.
It's the gateway drug like cannabis of fitness. Yeah. Yoga leads on to the harder stuff like going out jogging or getting on that fitness bike or But if you get a yoga mat and have it at the yoga, you don't even need a yoga mat necessarily, but there are some great YouTubers out there. Shout out to Yoga with Adrian, which is one of the YouTubers that I got started watching that does amazing yoga videos. Ali Kamanova and 5 Parks Yoga. Those were the 3 that really got me started to building. I put in a Frankenstein high intensity interval strength, core, cardio, yoga routine together that I still use to this day. So you can do just as much at home as you can do in the gym through yoga, right? I got the bike and the weights because look, man, I'm trying to go ham and get shredded and be out here looking sexy as fuck. I'm not already, right? But you know what I mean? Just trying to continually add to it and keep myself in check, not go too hard, but trying to build back to where I was. But that all can be done. You can work out every single muscle in your body. You can do cardio. You can do it all with building a yoga routine that suits you. And then, if you got back problems, there's stuff out there for stretching your back out. You're having trouble calming down. There's yoga for meditation. You got you're fucking strained your butt cheek. They got that too, dude. You pulled your pud too hard out there jerking off. Fuck, they got glory workouts too. Dude, it's all there. It's all there. I mean, when I was running, I used to always run on a night, so I didn't have to deal with people. I would always go out at 8, 9 p.m. or I'd go early hours of the morning when I wake up.
5 a.m.
And living near the sea is actually great. The seafront and the beach makes for a great, it's a nice view to run past, You can go run past.
I wish I could run. Contact sports took my knee from me, and so I can't do a high impact running and things like that, which is why I do the biking. It's better for my knee.
The problem for me. I was running too much and I gave myself shin splints, and then I injured myself, and then that put me off it. I stopped going out running just because of the shin splints.
And one of the things I'll say too is that depending on where you're running, it can be really bad for you. If you're running on sidewalks and concrete, that shit is not good for you.
No,
you need to run on soft earth, something that has give. You can do very real damage to your joints and your bones in your leg by running on concrete. You know what I mean? So yeah, that could cause very real issues.
Oh dear me. Yeah, like I said, shin splints, they're probably the worst pain I've ever had.
Terrible.
I mean, I bought a full jogging suit, track suit, proper running trainers, and running sneakers. I still got shin splints from running on concrete. But I used to run pretty much every night. I think maybe I just didn't give myself enough rest.
Shit, now I'm gonna have to work out after this.
You have to get that sweat up. Oh man. Well, I was about to say, I think we've gone through everything. So if we want to try and find someone to raid, a joint decision,
that sounds fantastic.
Or if chat has any suggestions, I don't know who's live right now.
Trap is live. Trap House.
Yeah, we could raid Trap.
Or Grumpy or Trap, or I know your friend Digital Boy is live too. That dude.
Traps, I think he's on the lowest, so we can raid Trap.
Yeah.
Good
Sounds
suggestion.
fantastic. Dude, this has been a blast, as I knew it would be. This has been great.
This has been amazing. I actually loved this. I feel like I said to Silenced on stream last night, I was like, out of all the guests I've had on, you're the one I'm like closest to. And I know you, like, we have a report, we speak every day.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew this was just going to be like natural, like it'd flow, you know, there'd be no like stalls or like between it. I've actually tried...
Sorry, I dropped a bomb on you and Nikigro last time with the Kobe news, man. I actually felt bad about that. I felt like I blew up the fucking podcast with it.
It's all good. I've done like I recorded this for the first time, opposed to downloading it from Twitch as well. So I'm gonna see how that worked out, how it looked. Andy, we appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, I just knew this one was going to be great. You know, like we know each other, we're close as it is, so it just felt natural.
And you know me, I'm not shy about getting on my soapbox about the things I'm passionate about. I always, I got to thank you, man. I always very much appreciate an opportunity to get, just talk about my passions, right? And to talk about what I'm about, and it means a lot. It means a lot, dude.
Guys, this is going to be up on YouTube tonight. I'm trying to make it a habit of when I do the podcast to put it on same night, upload it. So if there's any of it you missed or you want to go back over, you want to give it a listen, I'm trying to work on getting it on Spotify, but Spotify are massive dicks about getting it on.
Oh, yeah.
I've just dropped the YouTube link there. That'll be up tonight. Obviously, I'll post it on Twitter. Smaller, if you want to put it in your Discord or wherever, that's obviously cool.
Oh, yeah, I'll throw it up. That's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be on the OP Squad socials. It's gonna be on it's gonna be on my socials. It's gonna be in the Discord. It's gonna be everywhere.
Like the first hour or two of uploading it, YouTube murders the quality, so they'll upload it, but they'll only let you watch it in 170p, and then later on it gets better. Like you can watch it at 720 and 1080. I'll let everyone know when it's uploaded. Anyways, I'm gonna get straight to work on it after this. Luckily, I won't have to download it from Twitch because Big Brain Matty Fresh told me to just freaking record it and then delete it after, which will actually be the smarter thing to do. And it'll look better. It'll record better. We're going to pass the love on to a Trap right now. If you're subbed and you have the emote, I'll copy and paste it for you in the chat. Drop that shit on him. Go say hello. Smaller, you've been a great guest. I appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy.
Much love to you as always. We've got Jester dropping that resub. Thank you, my dude. We love you very much. Silenced, Andy, Rico, FMJ, Nikigro, everyone that was here. I don't want to forget anyone, but there's so many of you. MFN Joker, you're the realist. OP Squad for life. Andy, OP Squad for life.
OP Squared? What's that word? OP Squared.
We'll drop this raid on Trap. Mecca, thank you for the like the whole time. We appreciate you. We're going to raid Trap House Brunch. See you later, guys. Gang, gang.